What is going on? I don't know because for some reason, Twitch, TikTok, and something else. I don't know why this isn't working. We are live for sure on X. God damn it. So anyway, whatever. I don't care. I'm recording anyway, so it doesn't matter. Let's see. It's gonna be a quick show today, so I'm not gonna let the live count build up super long. Um, but I do have to get everything. All right. Listen, while we're letting the show build, and I appreciate everybody here early. Thank you so much. Hit the sub, hit the follow, hit the like, hit the share. We got Rousey-Carano just weighed in. We're gonna go through that. We're gonna talk about it. O'Shea Jackson has come out and just called out Triple H and Stephanie McMahon, and the entire WWE actually, this week. We're gonna talk about that as well. Lomachenko's back. Lomachenko's back, and a lot of different fights being talked about potentially. So that's definitely something we're going to cover. Shout out to Alex. He said he's ready for this Arnold Allen card tomorrow. As am I. As am I. The Allen card is a good one. And so is the Rousey card. I know, Alex. I know you're not. You've made the choice, or you're making the choice not to watch. The Is it just MVP, or is it because it's women fighting? Is it WMVP? I don't know. I think it's stupid that they do that. I think that the female wrestlers in WWE have always had the right mentality. In fact, I think that the WWE superstars have always had the right mentality in this era of like women's combat sports surgeons, right? Because when I was a kid, dude, there was no women's wrestling, right? The coolest thing that ever happened in the history of women's wrestling when I was a child was watching Alundra Blaze as Medusa throw the women's WWF title in the trash. I mean, I remember I was like 8 years old and somehow I jizzed. I don't know how. It's like not supposed to be possible apparently scientifically. The doctors had no clue. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't really jizz, but I mean, I have jizzed. I've just never gone to the doctor for it. And so ultimately I thought to myself, hey, that would be a good thing. Let's go and look at some of the best women's uh performances over the last few years, right? So we're gonna look at some of those in MMA, boxing, and even wrestling. I will forever consider Bailey and Sasha Banks in New York at on the NXT show that they main evented. Was that at the Barclays? No, that wasn't at the Barclays. Where was that? I feel like it was somewhere crazy, like somewhere big, but NXT wasn't really huge at that time. So like what numbers could they have done? Anyway, so we're gonna watch a few of those. We're gonna talk about that. But I always felt like the WWF wrestlers had it, or the WWE superstars had it the best, right? Like, leave women out of it, leave men out of it, right? And I've been trying to do that too. Like in my recaps for Fights ATW, like I don't put like women's IC champion anymore. Like if I'm like covering a card and that title is on there, like that, let's say the IC championship, both the men's and women's rosters defending it, then in the subtitle, I'll put, women's IC title or men's IC title. But other than that, I don't reference that. I just think it's stupid. It's like, why separate it at this point? It's clear that women have a foothold in every single sport. Like women's wrestling is bigger than it's ever been, right? Women's MMA, it actually exists because it didn't exist for a long time, not at the mainstream level. And women's boxing, despite being a thing forever, is finally, as of the last maybe 10 years or so, starting to really get the push of their like they're starting to find like the fruit of their labors paying off, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Why does it look so dark? Do I look dark? Like, not my skin color, I mean like the shadow. Like, is the light, I feel like the light's not. That's worse. That's too warm. I guess fuck it, it's right, I guess, whatever. But anyway, so we're gonna talk about that stuff. But while we let the uh all right. So, while we're waiting for the stuff, appreciate you, champ. I see on Australia rumor is Jaya Wataya is fighting Noel for the WBC in August, not confirmed. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen actually. Just the logistics from what I'm hearing, I don't think it's gonna happen. But I mean, not saying it's not gonna happen. I'm saying I don't think it's gonna happen in August. But we'll see. Hopefully, it would be great for him to, start dulling out them titles. See, we'll talk about that later. Well, you know what? Fuck it. We'll talk about it right now while we're waiting. I'm gonna set a timer. In fact, where is my? Oh fuck. So yeah, no, it would be great. For David Benavidez. I mean, sorry, for Jaya Bataya to get that belt, because like what's going on right now, if people don't understand, it's a narrative game that's going on, right? So the thing is that I'm not saying that David Benavidez doesn't want to fight Obitaya, and I'm not saying that Obitaya doesn't want to fight David Benavidez. What I'm saying is that both of them are very aware that that fight isn't happening, right? And there's a multitude of reasons why that fight isn't happening realistically, okay? But those reasons can't be said out loud, right? They can't be said out loud, because then you'd have to admit that boxing and MMA and even just really promotion in general is bullshit, right? So you don't want to do that. You don't want to be Bret Hart giving up the game just because the Montreal screw job happened. So what you do is you create narratives. You create like storylines almost, right? And this is what's been going on since the dawn of man. And really this is how boxing is controlled at the highest levels. And what David Benavidez did the night he won, he knew that Obataille was going to be a considerable um topic, right? He knew that people were going to call for that fight. So what did he do right away? He didn't just pull these words from his fucking head. He didn't just pull these words out of nowhere, right? What did he say? Let me go back to what he said. Let me see. David Benavidez on Jai. Okay, so he said that's the biggest fight in the world. Obataille is a beast. Hell of a fighter. I just don't know why he went to Zuffa. I'm not going over there. I'm not going to fight for a Zuffa title. Too much politics. But it's the best fight in the world, so let's make it happen. So you see, and then he went on to blame Zuffa and the UFC, and I think he even named Dana White specifically for why that fight wasn't happening, right? And so I think that there is a narrative that David went out to start that puts it all on Dana's shoulders, right? The only way you're going to beat Zuffa at this point, I think, is by winning the public battle, right? Winning the commercial battle. You have to make it seem like as if Zuffa's the problem or if Zuffa's the reason why boxing sucks extra hard. Let's not forget, right? For all the shit that people want to talk about boxing, and it's very fair. Let's not forget that the beginning of 2020 into and out of the pandemic were some of the best boxing years we've ever had, right? The Spence fight was finally made. We got the rematch for Fury and the hype of that. Probably the biggest heavyweight fight in American history in the 2000s, I mean. Maybe not, maybe not. Mike Tyson was still a pretty big force back then. It was the most meaningful, right? Like for sure it was the most meaningful. In terms of like two heavyweights in their prime still, right? Like Mike was like sold Mike was sold on the world after he got out of boxing as still being the baddest man on the planet. He wasn't. He wasn't. Something was gone and it never came back. Tyson was never the same, ever the same. And it wasn't the Buster Douglas fight. I mean, it might have been partly the Buster Douglas fight. A loss can change a fighter, and a knockout loss can change a fighter. Certainly one that's never lost by knockout. Yet, what had more to do than anything was the fact that he went to jail right after. Everybody's calling him a rapist. Everybody's saying all these things about him, and whether they're true or not, right? The psyche can't handle that kind of shit. Like if I were to and this is Alex again, this is like goes back to like Dana's shit. Like Dana, what he said was so disrespectful to his fighters, right? The mental health thing. Like you have all these fighters, Alex Pereira, Bones Jones, GSP, like all these guys who have at some point said that, the head trauma or the PTSD of it all has caused issues for them and things like that. I mean, Ronda's narrative is been strong on that in the lead ups to the fight. And it's just like, what's fair in all this? Like, where does this all go? Like, what do we all do with this? Nothing. There's nothing we can do. So instead, these guys point fingers at each other, right? They hurl, blame back and forth. When the reality is that the fight's not going to happen because it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because there's not enough money in it yet for what it represents. That's the reason the fight's not going to happen. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to say that to you because then again, it sounds like they're businessmen and not fighters. But that's the narrative that will beat Zuffa. I'm not saying they will beat him. I'm saying if Zuffa falls, if Zuffa doesn't work out, if somehow the amount of money that the Saudis have collected and put into, their brand washing, right? You know how you wash cash You know how, like, when you make cash illegally, I'm sure everybody's seen, like, a, fucking mobster movie at this point. You know, when you make cash illegally and you have to wash it clean, right? Like, so, like, let's say, like, I have a bunch of 8-liners in my garage, and I have the neighborhood comes and they gamble and shit, right? And I make that money. I have to wash that money. I can't just use that money to buy a house, right? I have to wash that money. I have to make it clean so that the money I made illegally now looks clean and spendable, right? Okay. That is what the Saudi government is doing, and that's what they've been doing. That is what you are seeing in Saudi Arabia. That is why they are putting so much money into sports and entertainment and music and comedy. They just had this huge comedy festival. Name one fucking American that went over there on that comedy festival that does, like, jihad or Muslim or like or just Middle Eastern material in general. Like, how the fuck did they find any of those fucking very westernized comics funny? They didn't, right? This whole thing is like, look, it's safe. Come over here. Don't worry about that journalist who's missing a head. That's all good. Yeah, we beat the shit out of our women. So do you. So do you. At least we do it out in public. Y'all are liars about it. Like, that type of shit is their energy, I feel like, right? It's like, shut the fuck up and just get drunk. Like, don't pretend like Vegas is some place that's like super nice and like moral and outstanding. Like, shut the fuck up. Come here, do your debaucherous shit inside these confines. And if you do it outside, you're going to get fucking murdered for it. Um, yeah. So it's just like washing money. They're just washing they're trying to wash their brand. They're trying to wash their, how the world sees them, right? They want to be like a destination, right? They want to be a place where rich Americans will go to spend their money. And by attracting all the events and musics and musicians and comedians and athletes, and we've seen them go after tennis, we've seen them go after golf in a way that no one's ever gone after golf with the Live Tour. The WWE expansion with TKO. I mean, that's all hand in hand shit. Like that, they don't go. Zuffa doesn't happen if Turkey's not in boxing. Y'all have to know that, right? There isn't even close to the amount of money or pull or political influence that Dana and Zuffa have or the UFC have without. I mean, Saudi's everything at this point. If you're going to take over something, you need all the money and all the backing you can get. And so I could believe that they'd make the Opetaia David Benavidez fight. I could believe that they would put the money into it. I don't believe that the people that would be getting the money back, right? Like the people on David's side, your managers, your advisors, the Al Heyman types, right? I don't think they'd want that deal yet, because the amount of chips you'd have on your side of the table for Turkey or Saudi to just cut you a check, you're beholden to them. That's not I don't give a fuck whose name is on the promotion, on the middle of the on the turnbuckles on the ring. I don't give a fuck if it says Top Rank or Golden Boy or Eddie Hearn or Matchroom or PBC. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Are you shitting me? You think it matters? What matters is where that money came from originally, right? And when you look at the Golden Boy blueprint, when you look at no, not gonna say that. When you look at certain blueprints, you know that, bro, you could just fake it till you make it a lot of times. So Zuffa only has to stay standing as long as the rest of them are. But if we're gonna talk about why we're not getting fights, nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is Turkey is a bit of a mark, and he buys fights like a mark, right? And I'm not talking shit. I would probably do the same thing. I mean, probably not. If I had money like actually coming in from this stuff, yeah, I'd probably milk everybody the same way. I mean, I'd assume, like, why wouldn't I? Right? Like, if we were making money off of David Benavidez's career, let's say, yeah, why the fuck would I want him to fight Jai? No, I don't. No, that's okay. We'll make 80%, 75% of that purse fighting somebody that's half the work. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all you got to do is tell people that Dana's the one fucking it up. What do you mean? I'm fighting for this title. They're the ones that have a Zuffa title. Bro, the optics are clear on that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who we blame here about where so if you want to say, oh, well, boxing's fractured, yes, it's been fractured. And the people that take advantage of it are the people at the top of the sport, right? But to say that Dana is like an answer while he comes in and fractures it more, I don't get it. I don't get it. Either you have the ability to make a play for everyone or you don't. And I don't think he does. I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see if fucking Shakur and if fucking Devin and Tio and Shakur and they all come out at the same time with these Zuffa contracts. We'll see. We'll see. Um, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. And I don't buy it for one reason and one reason only. Because the economics of boxing hasn't changed. Not one bit. Not one bit. Yeah, bro. Crazy shit. Thank you so much for saying that too. Let's get into it. So Keyshawn Davis, who I left off of the title. It's weird. I don't know how that happened. I had Rousey and Carano and then the preview. And then before the WWE stuff, I had the Keyshawn Davis stuff. Let's see. Uh, bu- 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 uh, Shout out to Fight Hub. Shout out to Marcos Viegas. Shout out to all of the people doing great work over there. Let's see. So, yeah, Keyshawn Davis misses weight. That's what time it is. Let's go ahead and hold on. Yo, what the fuck is going on with this shit? Mm, mm, mm. All right, guys. I think we've waited long enough, right? Uh, wait, who else is on the Davis card? The Davis Albright card? Norman, right? Norman Jr.'s fighting. Who is he fighting? Fuck, I forgot. All right. So, Keyshawn Davis misses weight again. So, he missed it by 0.1 pounds for his was supposed to be super lightweight, so 130. I mean, 140. I meant. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's junior welterweight. So he had 2 hours to come back. Anyway, let's see it here. Shout out again to Fight Hub.
Our fighters to the scale for the main event of the evening in unfinished business, brought to you by Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated. It's Keyshawn Davis versus Nahir Albright. 12 rounds of boxing in the super lightweight division. The weight limit of this fight is 140 pounds. First to the scale, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you in association with Ronnie Rice's R&R Boxing. With a record of 17 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, he has 7 wins coming by way of knockout. The battle-tested super lightweight contender from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Pretty Boy Woo Nahir Albright.
Yeah, he looked really, really lean down. Jesus. Maybe it's just the tats on his stomach, but he looked sucked in, bro. He looks, as the children of today would say, snatched. Is that what it means? That's what it sounds like when my niece says it. It's like somebody whose stomach looks like because you got to understand, right? And everybody's body's different, but you have to understand what happens to the body when you deprive it of calories, specifically calories that your body's used to having. So the muscle, it weighs more than fat. And sometimes people that are too muscular don't understand why they're like unable to make weight that the way they used to, right? And guys will say it all the time. You'll always hear somebody say it. Like it pops up every once in a while, but it's the most famous quote for a fighter who doesn't make weight for a fight. He'll come and say, just didn't come off this time, right? Haven't we heard that so many times, right? Where it's like, it just didn't come off this time, right? Like as if, and I've heard fighters describe it this way, as if it's a situation where you know, after your third beer, you're like, I'm gonna have to piss like a racehorse. So it's like, oh, you got a quarter of your beer left. Let me chug and drain, right? I'm gonna chug and drain. So I'm walking because I already know, bro. I've been drinking since I'm fucking however old, right? And so it's like, I know I'm gonna have to piss after my third beer. And so it's like, as a fighter or somebody who loses weight, to like for like wrestlers or whatever, like in high school and college, um, you get to a situation where like you know your body so well, like you know if you haven't had water in 18 hours, 12 hours, whatever, you know what your body's gonna how it's gonna respond, right? You know if you cut out carbs, like right now, I know my body well enough to know that if I cut out sugars for I don't know 3 days, I'll probably lose like half an inch off my waistline. No bullshit, like that. I know myself well enough. I'm not saying I would lose like my whole love handles and shit like that. I'm just saying like I could shrink my waistline in days, or at least a week. I mean, there would be like crazy things to do that no normal human being should ever do to themselves. But like when you cut weight, your body knows. It's just like this thing where the muscles just don't look as protrude. I don't know. It's like you just suck down so bad. But he doesn't look like in his face as much. A little bit, you know. You could see the cheekbones. Now Albright's already had like high cheekbones. He already has kind of high cheekbones, but still, you can see the saturation of moisture in his face, or yeah, moisture, and that is evidence of a lack of hydration and depletion of nutrients. So I don't know. I expect. Here's the thing: if everything goes, or if everything is what I believe it is, and what my experience tells me this is, Dave's gonna beat the shit out of him. Either he is, because he hasn't even had to make weight. Like
139.7 pounds, 139.
yeah, look how stretchy his skin is. Y'all see it? That's like when you get down to like nothing body fat and you can pull the skin like with your fingertips, like with your nails, and you can pull it out and it stretches out because you have like no body fat. That's what that looks like.
9.7 pounds for Nahir Albright.
You look okay though. I mean, he looks good. I'm like saying he don't look like he about to fall.
And now, ladies and gentlemen,
like he doesn't have the typical like, oh, you went way too far in cut.
His opponent with a record of 14 wins, no losses, 10 of his wins coming by way of knockout. He's a renowned U.S. Olympic silver medalist, the WBO #1 junior welterweight contender, and the former WBO lightweight champion of the world, the undefeated businessman, Keyshawn Davis.
Woo! Holy shit, bro. My wife made me this like cherry lemonade thing. God damn. It's like, dude, my fucking nips are like they could cut glass right now. I'm so fucking jacked. Bro, she just gave me like 1,000 grams, 1,000 mgs of caffeine. I'm sure of it, bro. I'm sure of it. Yo, I feel like I just took a pre-workout or what would be the equivalency to like 4 Red Bulls. Crazy shit. I'm tweaking now. Word limit, hilarious. I don't feel interested in this fight. This seems like a fight for Keyshawn to only stay active. A filler fight. Keyshawn was always dancing around fighting Martin, but now he's fighting the guy draw. Yeah.
Keyshawn Davis weighs in at 140.2 pounds. 140.2.
Yeah. This is exactly what happened. He came back on his second try after 2 hours.
140-pound weight limit,
and he was able to do it.
He's going to try to weigh it now, strip down, and lose that 0.2
I'm sorry.
of a pound.
This is about as terrible a look as you can have. I'm sorry. It's about as terrible a look as you can have. This is the same guy who was just several months ago or weeks ago or whatever was slapping the sidewalk of a Vegas hotel lobby, pretending he was whooping on Andy Cruz. This is when he was taking way too much pleasure in Andy Cruz losing. You remember that? I remember I saw it and I was like, oof. This is like one of those things where like, yo, I can't look at you the same, never again. I know you're going to be like, yo, you're taking that way too serious, but like somebody has to. Bro, that was a grown ass man who's a professional athlete whose sport of choice is punching you in the face. And he went on a like circus clown, like TikTok, like Costco boy, like the Costco guys, Nelk boys, like type of crash out in public. Like, I'm sorry, it's just certain things that you can't just unsee. Like, I can't unsee that, right? Like, I can't unsee Floyd Mayweather getting into a brawl with a fucking random dude. Like, literally, he was a random dude. He wasn't an ex-mafia. Do people think that? Do people think that he's like he took over for the mob when his dad died? Is that what people think? Because they're morons if they think that. This was a regular man. He was just a man who happened to have the name, the surname of his mobster father or grandfather, whatever. I don't understand why you took that fight, but then I don't understand even more how you got into like an after fight scuffle. So that's it now. Like the Zab Judah thing was different for me, right? That was Roger like feeling a type of way for his nephew. Y'all remember when he ran in on Zab? To me, that was so different. That was like a dude. It was like, nah, you're fucking around. You're fucking around. So this isn't a real fight. So this isn't a real fight that now I'm involved. And if this isn't a real fight and I'm involved, now we can fight. That was that type of mentality that I seen from him, right? And maybe that's just like dumb shit because of where I grew up. But all I'm saying is that I can comprehend why he did that. I can't comprehend why Floyd even put himself in a position to be in that position. You see what I'm saying? So like it just decreases the value of people when you see them in places that are vulnerable, right? Like I remember seeing Josh Hamilton like with fucking needle marks on his arm, you know, with fucking freebase on his nose, with like just the skankiest chicks that the fucking Dallas Fort Worth area has got to offer. Just the skankiest. I remember I saw that picture and I was like, damn, that don't look like the guy that we root for. And I'm not even trying to judge. I'm just saying it's like I could be friends with you if you're like doing freebase cocaine and you're doing like, you know, and you're with hookers and stuff. Like we could be friends. We're just not going to hang out while you're doing that, right? But like I'm supposed to believe you're a top athlete and a badass and like one of the best in your sport when you look like a chump? Like when you look like a punk, when you look like normal, when you look like everybody else? Nah, champ, come on. That ain't the way things work. And y'all know that ain't the way things work. It's like he can't keep missing weight and I'm going to just be like, oh, that's cool. Nah, at certain time, listen, at some point it becomes fuck Keyshawn. I'm sorry. It does. So it's like, why? Why? I don't want to pay for a pay-per-view. Why would I do that? He might not make weight. Like, why would I buy tickets to a Keyshawn Davis fight? No way. Why? The title might not be on the line. It's like, oh, you're going to go see that Keyshawn Davis fight in Vegas? The undisputed fight? Oh my God, everybody's talking about it. No, I'm not going to go. Why would I? As an educated fan, that fat fuck ain't going to make weight. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have called him that. He looks way better than me, and he looks way better than I ever will. But that said, I would be like, nah, I ain't going to see that. Because why? I can't trust him. Why? Why would I do that? I don't trust him. You know who I trust? Bill Miller's, the barbecue spot in Texas. I don't know. They got it everywhere. I don't think they do, but that's who I trust. I trust Bill Miller's. Let me tell you how I trust Bill Miller's. Every single fucking turkey year, right? Or turkey day, Thanksgiving, right? We get pies from Bill Miller's. And them pies are bomb, bro. Let me tell you. They got apple, they got I don't even like pecan pie, but they got their pecan pie is so good. I'll fuck with it. Not a lot. It's too sweet for me, but not a lot. But I'll have a little bit. And then I forgot what other pie. Oh, I think apple or whatever the fuck. Anyway, we get the pies, and then we'll usually get like a thing of beans and rice because the beans and rice go so fast, right? I trust them every single Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's a big holiday, bro. We got a lot of family that come. Like if they fuck up, if Bill Miller's fucks up, our Thanksgiving's fucked up. That's what time it is. You know what I mean? Like let's say I wanted Chick-fil-A to cater my niece's like graduation pre-party, right? Her getting ready with her friends. And I wanted Chick-fil-A to get a tray of 1,000 chicken nuggets and barbecue sauces, right? I trust Chick-fil-A. I'll pay you right now. Okay, she graduates at the end of May. What's today? It's the May 15th. So we're 2 weeks away. I'll pay him. I'll give him the money right now. What, you want a deposit? You need me to pay the whole thing? What do you need me to do? Right? You know who I trust, or I did trust? American Airlines. I'll give him the money. I know that the plane will be there. And if the plane ain't there because of weather and shit, I know American Airlines is going to make it right. And they're going to get me on another plane. Bro, how the fuck would anybody trust Keyshawn Davis at this point? How? How? Tell me how. Why? Like, this is crazy. This has gone way too much, way too far. Keyshawn has difficulties at 147. 147 seems to be the highest weight class he can even have success at before 154 is too big for him. And here's the thing. He's not super big. He's not super big. This is not a situation where, like, what are we saying? That the guy was like made for 130 18 months ago and all of a sudden he's outgrown 140? Like, I don't get it. And look, I need to make it also very clear. There could be a very simple explanation for this, right? This could be literally, I mean, you're talking about 0.1 or what was it? 0.1 pounds, right? Let me see. What was it? Yeah, 0.1. Initially missed weight by 0.1 pounds. That could be a calibration issue with the scale. That could be a calibration issue with the scale. Literally, he could have been spot on weight. But the problem is, this is the image you continue to give us on fight weeks, at fight pressers, post-fight, weigh-in. You keep giving us this image like you're not somebody to trust. Like you're somebody who may not come in weight and may throw off the fight. And it's like, I don't want to just see a fight. Y'all said this was going to be, not this fight specifically, but let's say, you know, Keyshawn's fighting for the junior welterweight undisputed world title. Like, y'all said this was an undisputed title. Now there's a situation where you may come back to me and say, no, the fight's still on. They're just not fighting at that weight class. But you told me, you promoted this fight. You sold me tickets saying this fight was two of the best junior welterweights or whatever in the world. Now you're saying that it's one of the best junior welterweights in the world and a dude who's a hybrid welterweight. That's what you're saying to me? That don't track. You know what I mean? And casual fans don't give a fuck about calibrations. Casual fans don't give a fuck about what time it is or what time it's not. This is it. This is, you get one chance usually to make an impression. Oh, man.
In order to make 140 pounds even.
Damn, he was aggressive with that. He said, drop your shorts. Man, Keyshawn don't want anybody to see his dick. You're a bitch, bro. He's like, hey, get them girls over there off the stage because they got the side eye. I don't want them to catch a side view.
Thinking they're gonna be lighter, but it's gonna be close.
They're like, that didn't make a fucking difference.
140.1 pounds. 140.1 pounds. He has 2 hours in order to lose that 1/10 of a pound to make weight for this fight.
Well, Sergio, you were wrong. Underwear does not weigh 0.2 pounds. It weighs 0.1 pound.
Well, no, it doesn't. That's, oh my God. I feel like I'm not going to say anything anymore. Somebody on the DMs the other day said, you explain too much. And I was like, there's no way you could mean like in the sense of wrestling or combat sports. And he's like, no. You explain too much of everything. It's like, well,
He probably has heavier underwear than most.
I can be I can be guilty of that. Here's the thing. It's weird that you keep talking about underwear, but ultimately it is weird that the underwear I don't know. That's very strange to me that it didn't go down to the I don't know. 0.1 is like nothing. 0.1 is like that could be a calibration issue. I'm okay. Wait. I'm not saying it's not nothing. It is something, and it would be an unfair advantage no matter what. That said, yeah, I've seen scales be off 0.1 for like 3 or 4 tries in a row, and then see that same person get on like an hour later, 30 minutes later, and literally they're like 0.2, 0.3 pounds less. And it's like, it's just like the calibration and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's difficult to.
But this is so stressful for a fighter.
Yo, Albright's got to be like, damn it, I should have put that shit in the claws.
This is where things start going wrong for a fighter, Todd. I'm telling you right now, Keyshawn Davis just lost so much momentum. And for Albright, the confidence is through the roof now. He knows that he has a wounded fighter in front of him.
That sounds so stupid to say, though. That sounds so dumb to say, Serge, because here's the thing. Like, that's not the truth, right? That's not the truth. The truth is this. That 0.1 pound is a representation of the work that he did in camp as it relates to the starting weight he was when camp initialized. That said, the stresses of coming back to lose weight can absolutely be detrimental in a fight. But the idea that the fighter who was able to not have to get to that limit is the one that's the more advantageous. He's the one that's most likely hasn't gotten close to dehydration. He's the one that's most likely has come close to not stripping himself of key nutrients that will absolutely play a role come fight night. See, the body is like a fucking, it's like a biochem lab, right? It's like if I said, hey, I've been practicing to run 10 miles, right? I've been practicing to run 10 miles. And on the day of, I'm so confident because I've been doing this every day for 2 years or whatever, how long I've been doing it, right? So I know I can run 10 miles. There's no question about it. So then I go to run the 10 miles and then they come to me at the start and they're like, wait, if you don't hit this 10 miles, we're going to kill your family. It's like, what the fuck? Wait, what? Yeah, we're going to kill your family. Also, if you don't get there in a certain time, we're going to make sure that you're always going to be poor. Like, how do you even do that? I don't even know you're going to make sure I'm always poor, but I don't want that to happen either. So then you're like, oh, fuck. Now your stress hormones kicked in. Your glutamine. It's not glutamine. I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically the stuff that it's like a toxin that gets into your blood and your sweat and everything else. And it can slow you down, right? It can it can hinder your athletic performance, specifically from the point of view of an endurance athlete. Yeah, so like cortisol, like all of that, it can fuck with you to the point that you're like, yeah, you're like done. So all that stuff could affect how you perform. So it's not like just, oh, I'm able to perform this. It's like all that shit kicks in.
Only because of the weight, but because of the confidence. Look at the confidence in that man's face right there. That man's ready for war. He's the one that was responsible. He made the weight. Now, it's all his show. This is a big confidence boost for Near Albright.
And of course, with 2 hours, you got to believe Keyshawn's going to be able to lose 0.1 pounds, no problem, right?
I think so, but right now,
Hello.
I didn't know you can run 10 miles.
Hilarious. Oh, are you on IG or what? Oh, yeah, there you are. Hey, what's going on, Miguel?
I joined last minute and I didn't know if you're telling the story and all you hear is, wow, I can run 10 miles and they're going to kill my effing.
I was going to say you. I was going to say, dude, I swear to God, I was going to say, yeah, let's say I have to run 10 miles. And then I get there and they're like, we're going to fucking kill your niece. And I was like, oh, Jesus, that sounds, before I said it in my head and I was like, damn, that sounds aggressive. I'm just going to say family, but thanks for spying.
We're just all shocked. We're sitting around the table having breakfast.
It's 3:30. It's not breakfast. It's 3:30 in the afternoon.
Brunch, Papa said.
I guess when you don't go to school and you sleep till 1 o'clock, it's brunch. Sure.
Whatever, you would know.
All right, baby. Well, I'll call you later. All right, love you. Dude, I swear I was about to say Ken's name. I swear I was about to use her as the example. That's hilarious. See, you never know when people are listening, so say the craziest shit you can. Anyway, so Keyshawn fights Nair Albright. Thank you to Alex who updated us a bit ago and said that he did end up making weight. I want to show you all this real quick. We talked about this guy on stream the other day. A lot of people didn't know who this was, and I realized I fucked up because I told a lot of people who this was, and not smart. But we talked about this guy. His name's Chud the Builder. This is somebody my brother told me about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, probably longer than that. Probably like before spring break. Anyway, he was like, hey, have you seen this guy on Kick? He's been going out and like he is a piece of shit. That's like his shtick, is like he's just a piece of shit. And he got kicked off a Kick. And then once he got kicked off a Kick, he put himself in a position where he was basically crowdsourcing money. And so like a lot of like the most fucking dumbest pieces of shit morons, they donated to this piece of shit. But live streamer Chud the Builder faces $1.25 million bond in courthouse shooting. Now, I spoke to y'all about it before. I'm not going to show any of the clips, but essentially this guy goes around different parts of the Mid-South, and he calls people the N-word, not just black people, white people, Asians, everybody. He tries to race bait them, and he has with him bear spray that he has used on people before. So he tries to bait them into fights by calling them, crazy ass names. And then when they even show a little bit of resistance, he hits him with that bear spray. Now, people have been trying to get him out of the streets, and that's why Kick ditched his ass, even though they have tons of racist people on Kick. The reason all this happened is because he was getting a certain amount of money from them, right? And it was almost like as if Kick was paying him to go out and be a public disturbance. And then the money that he was using to bail himself out of these situations was coming from Kick, right? I mean, they weren't paying to get him out. They were paying him to be on stream. I'm not saying that they were paying him for anything else. I'm just saying what he was doing on stream was essentially being protected by Kick because he'd never have to be in trouble. He got in trouble. And so the big thing was that he was carrying a gun. Everybody said he's been carrying a gun. We have not seen it. There's a couple of shots online where it looks like he may have a gun, but everybody who has come into contact with this guy and has come online later to tell their story has spoke of a gun. And most people have described the exact same weapon. I don't remember what it was or what it looked like, but they all described the same exact weapon. So this guy, Chud the Builder, was essentially going around party areas, club areas at night, taking advantage of the younger, underage, drunk crowd, right? That he would all call heathenistic, and yet he's there. Like the whole thing was a money grab, right? Like there was nothing about him that was real. He said that the whole reason he was doing this was for free speech. And that's like the most low IQ reason you could have, right? Like, what do you mean? Okay, so then go somewhere else with it. Like, say something else with it. Like, what do you mean? This one thing is the free speech you're wanting to protect, like that. So it's just an excuse, right? And we've noticed this. Like, I honestly, I fell for it too. You know, I'm in 2019, 18, seeing, the left over police, like social media and stuff. And I'm thinking, oh man, like this used to be the freedom of speech crowd. The left used to be the people that they were the ones that were trying to protect speech. They were the ones that were all for free speech. And then it reversed. And then it's like the right is that person, that thing. But the right's issue was never even about free speech. It was about protecting specific language. And it's always this stupid bullshit language. But anyway, so the gun that they said he had, he did end up having it. And he shot a disabled veteran named Joshua Fox outside a Clarksville, Tennessee courthouse. That's where he's from, Tennessee. Both men shot each other and suffered non-life-threatening wounds. He now faces 4 felony charges, including attempted criminal homicide, with a possible sentence of 15 to 60 years if convicted at maximum penalties. The judge, Reed Poland III, set the high bond Friday due to the seriousness of the charges and the crowded courthouse setting at the time, with Earthly claiming the self-defense in a post-shooting live stream. Yeah, so so he's claiming self-defense. It's bullshit. Everything's on TV.
I'm gonna set just a bond right now after we have our bail hearing. Then I'll let you make all the arguments. We can go through all the factors in the statute and see if that gets amended up or down.
Yo, look at this guy right here. Yo, he knows exactly who this dude is, bro. Yeah, Alex, I fucked up, bro. I shouldn't have even introduced any of y'all to him. And I was so surprised that you and Max and James, Dylan D, who's been in the chat on IG a lot lately, Manuel, none of y'all dudes never heard of these guys. And I'm like, wait, what? These guys, y'all are all in the same community I am. Like, I know y'all don't watch Neon, or I don't know, maybe y'all do, but I'm not saying y'all watch Neon or like Aiden or any of those guys, but it's like y'all are all in the same community. So I just assumed, okay, how do I put this, right? My algorithm's a weird algorithm, right? Because I have a lot of different interests. Like, am I a bro? Yes, I am a bro. Not by choice, not by desire, but how I was raised. You don't play football, baseball, basketball, boxing, or I didn't, play MMA, jiu-jitsu. You don't do those things without solidifying yourself as a member of the locker room, right? And I think that's why a lot of people like watching sports with me, like, and coming over and watching it with me and my brother and my family and stuff, because ultimately, like, we provide like a fun setting, right? And we always rag on each other more than anything, so nobody ever feels like they're about to get got or anything. From hearing your explanation, he'll probably get off easy. Yeah, dude, you're probably right about that. I have a fear he is not get off easy in the sense that like they're not going to punish him. Get off easy in sense of what should happen, right? Like, I don't know if the disabled veteran is black or white or Chinese or Mexican, and I don't give a fuck. He's a disabled vet. So this guy could go to fucking hell for all I care. Like, literally, this guy could be sentenced to having his spine broke and then have his head inserted in his asshole and then live inside his rectum for the rest of his life. Like, I literally be like, cool, I don't give a fuck. Do it. Like, what? They want to bring back fucking shooting galleries. You know what I mean? Like, fuck it, do it. I don't give a shit. This guy's a fucking piece of shit. But that said, at the end of the day, the law is the law. I appreciate the law very much, right? I've said things in my life that probably could be taken out of context and then maybe used against me in a court of law, right? That's why I don't speak to police. That's why I tell people often don't speak to police. Not in the sense of like something's happening or like call the cops if somebody's breaking in the sense of like, hey, your friend has all this, body parts in his backyard. And it's like, well, I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't know anything about it. And so I'm not going to talk to you because then I don't want you to be like, oh, well, you're his friend. So now you're in trouble and you probably chop those body parts up. You know what I mean? It's just like a thing they do. And I don't even think it's like, oh, cops are bad. Not at all. I just think that's the way they're trained, right? It's like, not all people that are lawyers are pieces of shit, right? But if you're a lawyer long enough, you're probably a piece of shit, right? It's kind of just like that thing. Like, it is what it is. Like, nobody is born a piece of shit, I don't think. But then it's like you get older and then like you get good grades and then like you apply to law school and you go to law school, right? And then, I don't know. I'm assuming at some point you spike a girl's drink with a roofie. I don't know that about law school. I'm just, from all the people that I know in politics, Kavanaugh, and like other people, it just seems like there's a point in law school where you just party down way too much. But that said, yeah, at some point you become a lawyer and then you become a piece of shit. It's just the way your brain thinks. Like, I'm not even saying you're a piece of shit. I'm saying like your brain is made into like this thing where you're like, oh, how can I frame stuff in a way that makes me and my client the most money? And then when we get that money, how can I frame this in a way that I could take more of a percentage than I was supposed to, right? I don't know if y'all know the Murdochs, if y'all have heard that story or not. The Murdochs are this very, very famous family in, I don't know, bumfuck somewhere. And the Murdochs were like one of the most prestigious families in like some small town, right? Anyway, the dad was like super addicted to hydrocodone and Vicodin. Sorry, he's super addicted to opioids, right? Ends up like stealing a shit ton of money from all his clients. And then he's in a position where his son accidentally kills a girl by driving his boat drunk. And then they get him off, or they try to get him off of, off the charges. And that causes a shitstorm to the point where eventually he kills his son and his wife and try to blame someone else. He tried to pretend that it was somebody who was mad about the girl. I think her name was Mallory. Died on the boat, and they were saying that that's who killed him. Yeah, that's what he was saying. And then it's like literally there was no evidence that anyone was even there other than him. His fucking hands on his fingers on all the fucking weapons. They used their weapons. Like, what the fuck? Anyway, that guy just got off. That guy, or not got off. I'm sorry. He got a new trial, right? Everyone thinks he's a murderer. Everyone thinks he fucking killed his kid and his wife. Everyone knows he was this degenerate drug addict piece of shit. And guess what his job was? He was a lawyer. And so was his, brother and his uncle and all those people. A plea deal, a few months in jail with a decade of probation while revoking license to carry. That's exactly what it's going to be, I bet. That's exactly what it's going to be. And it's sad. It's so sad because, again, like, this is that shit I don't like, right? Like, I'm okay with free speech. I'm not okay. I cherish free speech. That said, though, I also know there's a bunch of people who are just using it as excuses today to make money and to like provoke, right? And these are the kind of people that do that. And they're just like pieces of shit. And don't get me wrong, like I think most streamers, when you get to a level, it might be like lawyers, like you just turn into a piece of shit. Like you start thinking of everything as content. You know who I used to watch when I was in college? I'm so embarrassed to say this. I really am. This is the most embarrassing thing I'm about to ever tell y'all. When I was in college, or just out of college, really, it's like 25, 26. I started watching David Dobrik. I know. No, I'm not gay. No problem if you are, but I'm not. But yes, I did watch David Dobrik videos. Now, some of you might be saying, I don't even know who the fuck David Dobrik is. Good on you. Congratulations. You've won life. I'm lost. I lost life because I know I've utilized my brain space for people who literally don't mean shit to me or life or the world or anything. So good on you. But David Dobrik is like the original. No, he's not the original. He is like the quintessential IRL vlogger. He used to have like the biggest podcast, I think, in the world, or maybe like top 3, top 5. Then they shut it down. Anyway, I used to watch his stuff all the time. Like every week I watched his videos without fail. And it wasn't that I even thought it was funny. I just remember thinking, this is what college used to be like. This is what this is at a time in my life where it's like things suck because things cost money now and I have to get a real job. And I fucked around in college and didn't make any sort of connections. And I was really lucky to have stumbled into the journalism world of combat sports. But I was saying all that because I remember like all the stories would come out about the guy and how he's like just a giant piece of shit who was just like trying to get content all the time. That's when it really hit. Like, oh, this is all gross. These are just people faking stuff that telling them like, hey, like even if something really happened, right? They make you run it back. And I'm hearing all these stories and I'm like, wait, every single vlog is basically staged. And then I'm thinking to myself, wait, you didn't realize that before, you fucking moron? Oh my God, this is embarrassing for you, not anyone else. Like, you're the mark. You fell for all this. And it's just like, oh, that sucks. But then you realize, like, oh, the more money you get as a streamer, like your brain is just turned into this thing where all you see it. I used to watch No Jumper before Adam lost the plot and let things go too far. I'm not gonna lie. I really want to know what you mean by that, but I don't want to put you in a situation where people try to like misinterpret your words. But I really want to know what you mean by that because I would say the exact same thing. I don't know if we're talking about the same thing though. I used to watch No Jumper too. Here's the thing. I haven't stopped watching anything. In the sense of I still come across PBD clips, even though I think they're 3 of the dumbest people on the internet. I still watch impulsive clips and stuff, right? I don't not watch anyone. I don't refuse. Like, there's no point where I'm like, that's it. I will not. Like, I even watch Alex Jones shit, right? I mean, I hate his show. I hate him. I don't hate him as like a person or his personality, right? I hate that there was once upon a time he was covering authentic shit that the mainstream media wasn't talking about. And then he went like full in on conspiracy bullshit. And that devalues everything else, right? Like, for example, like it's not a conspiracy to believe in UAPs or UFOs. First of all, it's retarded to say that because UAPs and UFOs, nobody's calling that like an alien or an alien base or like gamma ray 50 from the Nebulan planet. There's literally those words stand for I don't know what that thing in the sky is, but it's moving. and it's not falling like it should, like a normal junk from the sky, right? And so like then you see it's like, oh, they're trying to like make us believe that there's nothing there. And like we're seeing things with our own eyes, and they're coming back and they're like, oh, they're balloons. And it's like, no, you're a fucking liar, dude. You're a fucking liar. But why are you lying? Why did you make us believe UFOs were not real? And then it's like, oh, because there's like 20 trillion fucking dollars in black budget line items, and you never have to tell anyone what it's for. Yeah, I think that it's stupid if you think, or not stupid, I think it's silly to believe that there's multicultural aliens and reptilians that are fucking changing skin, right? That seems far-fetched to me. But don't tell me that that we don't belong to a government in which it spends our money and our tax dollars like they don't give a fuck. Don't tell me that. Don't fucking come and try to tell me that shit. Because here's the thing. I'll either fucking punch you out of frustration or bitch slap you out of frustration, or I will just, I don't know, maybe I'll just like tell everybody you molested me. I don't know. I'll just be like so mad at you. I'll tell everybody you said the N-word. I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. That's wrong. That's a wrong thing to do. That's a psychotic move from me. 100%. But you're fucking lying. And you're trying to fucking get one over on, not me specifically, but like, it's not an ego thing. Like really everyone, right? Like I think of all my family that's made good money, and I think, yo, what's the percentage of that money that they made that the government just threw to people that they didn't even fucking vet? They didn't give a fuck what they're doing. Like, yeah, I bet there's like $1 billion in some fucking thing that they're calling like alien, blah, blah, blah. And it's really, that's where they go for their secret Epstein meetings. Like, absolutely have no belief. So you're not going to tell me anything that discourages me from that. That said, everything with a grain of salt. And so that's why Alex Jones pisses me off. It's like there's a situation where it's like a bunch of things that were happening, or like that he would only talk about, that the mainstream media never talked about, that he had authority on. And then all of a sudden it's like the frogs are gay, and everybody's like, Alex is a nutball. And guess who else now seems like a nutball? The rest of us who were, telling y'all, no, there is this place where the elites like Reagan and Bush would go and worship an owl. It's true. No, that's a real thing. And you're like, oh, you're fucking nuts, dude. You're fucking nuts. And then here comes Alex Jones. Nope, not nuts. Not fucking nuts. Nuts are the people dressed in fucking garments worshiping owls. Those are the nuts people. And then frogs are gay, and now it's like, oh, that's all bullshit. No, it's not bullshit. You think it's bullshit because the guy that brought this to light ended up becoming bullshit. But that shit's real. Post the link. My words on text concerning that must be heard to understood. I agree. And I'm going to tell you, I used to watch No Jumper religiously. There's no part of me that will judge even a little bit anything Alex has to say, because I did too, right? It's like you just don't realize until you've been in like the matrix of it long enough that it's all fake. Every bit of it. Like I remember on No Jumper where the fake pimp slapped the other fake pimp. Is that the story? I don't remember. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I know Alex knows what I'm talking about. And it was like this moment where I was like, holy shit. And everybody's talking about it. We're like, oh my God. And now today, I think that was probably as staged as anything else. WWE, NXT. I don't give a fuck what you want to go to. It was as staged as anything else. But anyway, Chud the Builder's getting what he deserves. He's a piece of shit. Yo, and look at Angela. Yo, this motherfucker Anglo is so. Here's the thing: based for sure, bullshit absolutely. And it's like to equate the two things is so low IQ. The Carmelo Anthony thing, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that those were two kids at a sporting event. And it sucks that it ended up going that way, but both of them had every right to be at that event that day. I'm not saying in whatever tent or whatever. I'm just saying Both of those guys were where they were supposed to be, and they crossed paths, and something that shouldn't have happened. This is different. This is so much different. Oh, there's Alex. Champ, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Oh, nothing much. Just a nice, easy Friday before the fights come tomorrow. You're
No,
wait.
no,
You're not watching Carano and Rousey?
Man, what are the consequences of the only consequential fight I see on there tomorrow is Diaz versus Perry. If Diaz loses, he probably loses out on the Conor McGregor trilogy. If he wins, we'll probably see him back in the UFC. But that's the only
there's a chance
fight
if Mike Perry wins, he gets that crack, or there's no way UFC ever works with him.
I think there's a chance. I think, yeah, Mike, I saw an interview with Mike. He said, never say never. He says he's open to a UFC return. But also Ngannou holding like the kind of lineal title hostage of MMA. Maybe if he like something freakish happens tomorrow, that might throw things on its head. But yeah, he'll probably win tomorrow, like most likely. But other than that, nothing really matters tomorrow. But my internet's acting up, but let me explain what's up. Back in like 2019, like right before COVID and all that, Adam 22 seemed awesome to me. He hosted a rising brand with No Jumper, had a podcast with a whole bunch of cool people, and then he would go have threesomes with him, his wife, and a whole bunch of chicks.
Yeah.
Eventually, things got too freakish. He started letting his chick get with other guys, and that's where I draw the line. And it's as simple as that.
Really? That was, I would have never thought that's where you were going to go with it. So because he cucked himself out, you don't respect him or his show anymore, or both?
I kind of cut myself off from everything concerning him.
Oof. Yeah.
And especially Mario, bro. You don't remember? I didn't watch the fight, but I know what happened. And he decided to fight the man that he let have sex with his wife and not throw a single punch. Like, that is absolutely like, no. I'm happy I cut myself off from him whenever that first started.
So it's just like low beta type energy you don't appreciate from Adam 22.
It's more of a principle as a man and the way I was raised. So,
the cuck thing, I absolutely understand. In fact,
where did you think I was going to go with it? I'm surprised you're surprised.
I thought you were going to go. I thought there was two places you were going to go. I thought you were going to go the place where it got too political, specifically like left leaning. I don't think it did, but I think it did, but it didn't go super far left. It just wasn't political at all. The other thing I thought you were going to say is he has lost the plot on what he's actually doing. And that I do agree with as well, if that was your case. The case was more of like, okay, how responsible is he for all the deaths that happened in Chicago and the drill rap scene? I'm not saying he is. I'm not trying to make that point. The point I am trying to make is that at some point, you got to like take a principled stand one way or the other. And all he ever did was continue to authenticate that type of content and exploit it. Like, I don't care if you have Mama Duck on, but don't feed into the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you're becoming a mainstream thing now. Right. And like, I don't know how you feel about the drill rap scene. I think it's like,
I don't think his impact. I don't think his impact on the drill culture is really that impactful in the broad scheme of things, as much as DJ Vlad. I think there's levels to it.
That's a fair point. I listen, he had everyone on. You know, Adam had everyone on, and I'm not saying you have to be playing peacemaker, of course not, but it's like you know who I hate the most? DJ Academics. Hate him with a passion, bro. Hate him with the passion. And I don't like him not because of his takes, not anything like that, but because I know like he's just a bitch, but he tries like to pretend to be something else. I fuck with Adam 22 because he doesn't do that, right? But then you go and you step in the ring. It's like you're just doing everything for money, right? Like that's how I feel now about Adam. It's like everything, I don't think anything about him is real, and it's all about money. Like if you can pimp your wife or girlfriend out, like I don't know, like that's what he's doing to her, I think. I mean, obviously she's, you know, she's not like she's agreeing to it, right? It's not like against her will. I'm not trying to make it like seem like that, but it's like, bro, you're pimping your girl out for content. You know that the moment that she goes and does this thing, it's going to become internet fodder. And all these people are going to jump to your show and watch, and you're going to cash in on a payday. And it's just like, damn, that's some fucking gross shit right there, bro. Like, I don't know if y'all's relationship,
But it just supports your what you were saying earlier about content creators and all that, you know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But no, I agree with you 100%. Is there anybody else other than Adam 22 you want that you mentioned? I used to watch PBD. I'll tell you that one for me. And I liked it. I did. And then
I just don't like Adam.
Oh, I don't like Adam. Yeah,
or rather, it's not that I don't like Adam. It's just I just don't like him on there. Like if he went like independent, maybe he would probably have his own fan base. But for him to be integrated into that level of intellect, he's out of place there. So it's not that I don't like him. It's just I don't like him. I don't think he's at that level, you know. But he makes a lot of money, so he probably has some validation being there a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like the numbers that popped up, right? Like that changed everything. After that, everybody was willing to go on there. You know what I mean? And it's like from politics to music, gaming, like he really turned No Jumper into something different. But it's like, I don't know, dude. I don't know. I just can't. I just can't really watch it anymore. I not long periods. Like I could watch a video or like an interview or something like that, right?
Wait. You were talking about PBD. No, you misunderstood me. I wasn't talking about Adam.
No, I was
22.
talking about. No, I was talking about. Oh, you were talking about PBD.
Yeah, I was talking about Adam from PBD.
My bad. Yeah. No, I hate him the most. Did you see the Dave Smith debate? If you want to call it that.
Yeah, I saw that. It's just, I think if you put someone else there, Dave doesn't do as well. I think that was more about what Adam did there.
Oh, yes.
More than what Dave did.
Dude, that is so fucking spot on, Alex. You're right. And so many people are like, and it's not that I don't like Dave. I just don't. Like, I like his comedy. It's okay, right? I listened to the podcast. I mean, I know he's not on there anymore, but all those things I enjoyed about him. I just don't agree with all his takes, right? But you're so right. All his fans and all the anti-Israel people, they were trying to take a dub that wasn't there. It's like, they blew that, right? That was like a blown loss. That was not like a dominating win. It was a blown loss. And people were people mixed it up.
Yeah, but shout out to those Chinese are creepy, man. All those kids jumping.
The kids jumping. Yeah. Oh, by the way, real quick, before you leave, bro, did you see this? I couldn't believe this fucking idiot. Did you see Wing C? You know Wing C, right?
Oh, he did the karate comp. Bro, that happened like 2 weeks ago, man.
I did not see it. I was watching. What was I watching yesterday? Oh, you know how Amazon Prime has the live channels? I like to go and watch the HBO boxing at night to fall asleep to. And I was passing through it and I saw Karate Combat has their own channel now. I was like, whoa, what? When did this happen? And I was trying to see the date of the fight I was looking up, and so I just put Karate Combat, so I was gonna go to the schedule, and that shit popped up, and I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? For those that don't know, Wing C, who's a combat
but
sports, go ahead. My bad, dude.
no, I'll let you pull it up. I'll let you pull it up because
I'm
that,
just gonna
that
pull it
adds
up. But you
context.
tell us what you think. I'm gonna mute it, but so I can show everybody what he was doing.
Bro, it's that president. That president. He planned it. I think he planted Wing C. He put him there.
Are you fucking serious?
I that's what I think. He's denying it, but even Ariel like
Thinks it was rigged.
was asking him. Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. That's crazy if it was rigged. Bro, I was gonna
I believe he's paid Wing C money to do that.
Yo, I'm sorry.
And the fighters, I think the fighters knew it too. Those fighters in the ring. You
think so?
Come on, Mario. If somebody
Let me
walks
see.
into Border Wars while you're having a boxing match and does that blind man stuff, are you or your opponent not gonna throw up a swing, a punch at his head for interrupting your boxing match?
Yeah, that's a very good point. That's a very good point, actually. And they all look like, well, he looks stunned. And this isn't the good video. I wanted to show this because he was saying that they should ban Wing C, and I also wanted to show what he was going to say here.
The building, I was like,
I think they did.
not even that. You're fing with the commissions.
Yep.
People don't realize, like Karate
Fuck
Combat, when they go to, let's say they come to Washington State, there's a fight going on, and some guy gets in there, he's blind, and he all of a sudden he gets knocked the out, right? Then you stop the fight. The ref's like, what's going on? The business partner, the commission, they're like, what the is going on? Is this a joke? Is this amateur hour? Like, we trusted you as...
We trusted you. If this is the president, this is the most egregious thing I've ever fucking heard of from a promoter or somebody at the top of a promotion. Dude, I'm disgusted if that's the case. If this was a plan, I thought when I saw this last night, right? And I put this on the topic list for today. I was going to come on, Alex, to say Wing C's a fucking bitch for this, but at the end of the day, it's not his fault. It's it's IRL culture, right?
Mario,
to get on
earlier that day, he was messing with Curtis Millender in the hotel. He was messing with Curtis Millender. Yeah.
In what way was he messing with them?
He was acting like how Wing C acts.
Just aggravating.
Just being annoying, and like he was messing with Curtis Millender. After that happens, how are you allowed in that building after that happens with a fighter?
Nah, you might be right, champ. You might be right. Fuck, that's crazy. This changes everything. Because
what do you mean?
Oh my
it changes, God. Mario?
It changes everything. If the president did this, that's fucking crazy.
That's not bro. He made the dudes water gun like the Pitbull brothers in the hotel. That whole thing.
Yeah, I know, but the thing is, though, Alex, is that this is supposed to be like an alternative, like for boxing and MMA and jiu-jitsu and K1 and Glory and all those other things, right? I can't tell you how hard it is for a promoter who promotes actual sports that are tried and true, like MMA and boxing, to get their foot in through the door. When you do things like this, it suggests wrestling, sports entertainment, and that's fine. You know, I love wrestling, but that's different, bro. When you go and you fight, you're risking your life. If the president of your promotion sent somebody in to do a clout chase, that's disrespect to the very idea of what fighting is. When you go into that ring or that cage or that whatever, Matt, you are risking your life. And not only are you risking your life, but you're risking the chances to put your opponent's life at risk. And so it's just like, it feels like you're downplaying it. It feels like, let me ask you, you think like if if we had influencers go to war, like where the war's at, right, in Iran, like they wouldn't pull this shit, right? Because they know they get fucked up and the consequences would be way too high. But at the end of the day, the seriousness of war and the seriousness of fighting aren't separated by that big of a line. And I just feel like going to this route to blow up your promotion is actually possibly having an adverse effect, because now who's going to treat you right? Now who's going to tell you this is cool or this is okay or this is actual fighting? I don't know, dude. I saw Efren Escudero fight in a match that last night, right? And I remember thinking, damn, I loved Efren, dude. He would just go to war. He would go do this. And it's like, oh man, that's why, like, he has nothing left, right? So it's like, I'm gonna go do this. When you already are building up a promotion like that, you have to make sure that you are treated as serious as anything else. But I'll be honest, it was funny as shit. I just thought it was disrespectful as fuck.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the next one.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But what did
say,
O'Shea Jackson say? What did O'Shea Jackson say? You said he spoke on something.
Buddy. Yes, O'Shea Jackson was on a podcast. All right, here we go. I think it was Ariel Helwani's.
Of course, Mr. Anti-TKO right there.
Mr. Anti-TKO for sure. So this is what he had to say.
And have you heard of MMA Joey?
Yeah, of course.
He's sponsoring a fighter on the MVP card tomorrow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Dude's
really?
going full on anti-UFC, bro. That is wild.
He's sponsoring a fighter. Wow. Poor MMA Joey ran a whole 12 video campaign against Strickland. I saw that. Damn, that's crazy. That's what's up though, dude. I mean, I don't know if that's the smartest move, but at the end of the day, I'm glad to see content creators sponsoring. We make our bread off of these people. And so at the end of the day, we should be, contributing back. Let me see. Where the fuck is? Oh, here we go. Okay, so here is O'Shea Jackson on what he had to say to Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Oops.
Transgressions. Was like, dude, Triple H comes down. I brought up my transgressions. Was like, dude, the ads are crazy. Like, it's almost unwatchable. It's for sure soulless, but I mean, like, to get to 1 billion, I don't know what you got to do, but it sounds pretty soulless.
It feels like everything is for sale. Can't be commercials during WrestleMania.
That is where I draw the line. I told this to Triple H and Stephanie.
No, look at Stephanie flexing left and right.
They text me happy birthday too,
bro.
It was in a group chat too.
Yo, just the three of you.
Yeah,
you, Trips, and Steph.
Yep. I told him, I was like that.
Yo, that's crazy to be in a group chat. Just you and Trips and Steph. Imagine you're in a group chat with them. That'd be crazy.
The ads and like the timing of them are horrendous.
Wait, you said that. So it's, yo, happy birthday, young man.
No. This is when this is like
no?
5-6 months ago or something crazy like that. When I went to go do Stephanie McMahon's pod. Afterwards, Triple H comes down. We all, we're talking, yada yada yada. Then I brought up my transgressions.
Okay.
And I was like, dude, the ads are crazy. Like,
it's almost
unwatchable.
Can you tell us
like they know, but
they agreed.
It's just about they're working on placement of them, maybe. Like I get it. Roman Reigns' entrance is 7 minutes long, but that doesn't mean that it's a time to throw the ads in. There should never be a moment where I miss Io Sky's entrance because we are back from commercial break.
Right.
It's just it's a level of respect for them.
All right. So, as this might not sound super crazy, the media picked up big time. Holy shit, this became a media storm to the point where TKOs had to actually respond to this clip, essentially downplaying, every aspect of it. But they also admitted to the conversation and essentially admitted to the truth of the story, giving it validity. Now, the thing is this. he's not wrong at all. And I don't even think he's being critical when he's talking about the ads. That said, Alex, you hear O'Shea Jackson's words as they're echoed from a larger social media landscape. What do you think? Is this hate or is this fair criticism?
It's fair criticism. I on a lesser note, I don't think he should have revealed the conversation, but that's just me on principle.
This is
But
why I fuck with Alex. Keep going. Sorry.
but I think the ads problem will eventually be fixed by WWE. I think by SummerSlam, we're going to see a very different format for the ads. If not, I could be wrong, but yeah.
Very well said. Very well
If
said.
it's the same, we'll probably bitch and moan some more about it. But
Well,
I
listen,
think they'll
no,
change it.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right where you're coming from in this, because at the end of the day, we're seeing things that we've never seen before, right? I grew up, I was 5 years old in 1993. And I remember watching Oscar De La Hoya fight, and the ring had a giant Budweiser on the center, right? And then I remember watching wrestling maybe the next day or Raw or next week or whatever. And I remember thinking, why are some rings covered with some stuff? And I'm not, at this point, I don't know what a promotion is or sponsors are or whatever, you know what I mean? And I remember thinking they should all have the same sort of look. Like, why don't they? Like, why don't we make people understand that when you are in this arena that has padded turnbuckles and a fucking Budweiser sign in the middle of the ring, you're in for action, right? Giving people a sort of continuity effect across combat sports, right? I don't have a problem with you selling the middle of the ring as ad. I don't have a problem with you having the turnbuckles. But yo, you got like 17 ads across all of ringside. You literally book matches based on who has sponsored you. I have no doubt. Listen to me. I swear to God, I'm not joking when I say this, Alex. I have no doubt that Gunther would not have been on WrestleMania if the General was not a sponsor. I don't know when they became a sponsor, but whenever they became a sponsor, that was the moment that Gunther was booked for WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? Like if y'all want to see, let me tell y'all, if y'all want to see Otis become like a household name or like get a big pay-per-view match, then you better hope that the Otis cookie brand starts sponsoring them motherfuckers, because that's the only way you're gonna get it.
Speaking of Otis, I'll ask you about that later.
All I'm saying though is that you're right in the bigger context, right? I would never blow the lid off of that stuff. Now, as a journalist, maybe I see it different, but you said the same thing, Alex. Like, I'm not telling people that conversation unless I've gone to Triple H and personally said, yo, I'm going to share words from our private conversation. Is that okay? Or can I at least contextualize them? Maybe I don't give exactly what was said, but I'd say, hey, I did talk to them about some of my grievances. That didn't come off good for WWE, right? For it to be like, oh, Triple H is very well aware, and he's been well aware for 5 months that the ads are terribly placed and completely fucking with the rhythm of the show. And
it doesn't sound good, but I was watching Luke Thomas's live stream, and he reminded
Luke.
He reminded like the live chat that Paramount is going to be in $70 billion debt when the purchase of Warner Brothers goes through. So they can't make that
70 billion? Did you just say 70 billion?
That's what I heard.
Wow.
I could have misheard, but they need to make $7 billion back in order to turn profit from the purchase of Warner Brothers.
Wow.
And
Wow.
And how do you do that? Not by views, not by new subscribers. Even if they get to 250 million subscribers, they won't make that money back. So how do they make it? Ads.
You're absolutely
ads.
right. You're absolutely right. Yo, Mex just reminded me too. Remember, dude, Alex, when they used to sell their backs Remember they would get like ads on
They
their
do that in
backs and they would-
Poland.
Still they do that in Poland. Wow. Yeah, I think the UFC banned it, didn't they? Or Vegas. Somebody
Well, it
banned.
looks
Somebody said you
stupid,
couldn't do it
to be
anymore. It's
fair.
not. It's very stupid. Yeah. It's very stupid. You're absolutely right. And I forgot all about that. But yeah, I agree with you, dude. I don't think that the ads are really the problem in and of itself. I think that they haven't figured out how wrestling works in the minds of fans. Like, who was it? Nick Khan or Mark Shapiro said something so fucking stupid. Not stupid, just so like misunderstood. Like he just doesn't understand what he's saying. He said, the ads, fans will get used to the ads. Don't worry. The fans will get used to the ads. There was a big problem in the NFL and the NBA and the MLB when they introduced ads, you know, on the court. And when they took a first commercial break on the NFL, when they called a TV timeout, is what they called them, a TV timeout. When the NFL took their first TV timeout on Monday Night Football, the entire football world lost their mind, right? But now it's like nothing, right? Everybody just assumes. The problem is that they don't understand that those breaks happen at times when the action is dead, right? There's nothing, literally nothing going on. And the sport is designed in a way that you can utilize those breaks from TV. But the bigger issue is that when you're doing wrestling, you don't have those same sort of like perfect moments where you could just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to fucking put a commercial break here. I don't think the suits at WWE understand quite yet how wrestling truly works, how fans see it, what they look at as a halftime or an end of quarter or whatever.
Okay, Mario, let me put you on the spot.
Go ahead.
You arrange an episode of Raw, or you arrange a pay-per-view, WrestleMania. When do you put in a commercial on? When do you put a commercial on? Lay out the format of the show concerning ads.
I would go to a traditional because see they've upped the spots, right? So we have more commercials today, just in longer formatted periods of time or shorter periods of time. What I would do is this, very simple. The first thing I would do is utilize the opening titles, right? Because we get that big WWE title sequence. It's beautiful. We love it. After that, I would literally have every single person that's going to have an ad that has sponsored our show first show it, go into your main segment, finish it, and have your longest ad break of the night. And that's how you can sell it, is like, this is when people are going to first tune in, so we can make maximum amount of money there. Then that same concept at the beginning, where people aren't like, the show hasn't fully started, so you know, a longer commercial break isn't that big a deal. In fact, you're probably having more people show up late, and so the audience is just growing and growing. You go that first commercial break. Now let's go to the end of the show. There's a big segment, right? And everybody's waiting for Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu or whatever, whoever, it's CM Punk, whatever. I got a commercial now, the longest of the night, or at least second longest, comparable to that first commercial break, that now is the most expensive because it's right before that. So I'm telling advertisers like beer companies and sodas and chip companies, hey, you're getting prime real estate Roman Reigns time. All right. As far as the rest of the show is concerned, I am okay with picture in picture. I'm okay with picture in picture. I am not okay with full commercial breaks that take out both entrances for the guys, any commentary setting up the match, any sort of context that helps you to understand what this match is for from a stakes point of view. And then you can create moments, though, in the middle when you take those ad breaks, and instead of interrupting multiple times throughout the show and killing the momentum. That's why wrestling is so hard to watch today, is because it's not a show. It's like 8 small shows. All I know is that you could keep the same amount of ad time if you make longer breaks at more opportune moments, as opposed to randomly placing them throughout the show in ways that hurt the appearance, right? The way that it's rolled out. Just one example real quick. Do you remember the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon ladder match classic at WrestleMania 10? That thing was
Yes.
so good. You remember that, right? Do you remember the entrances where Shawn, he stopped before he walked under the ladder and went and then walked around, and Razor, just fucking cool as a fucking cucumber, walks under that ladder like, hey, Chico, ain't no luck gonna stop me from that belt, Poppy. That was that type of energy. That was absolutely part of the match. That was part of the storyline. That was part of the narrative. And it gave us a sense of what we were gonna see, right? It gave us a sort of, not metaphor, but a sort of symbolism for what we were about to experience. And I can't imagine that match without it. I really can't.
But that format you put forward, have you ever seen anyone use that that before?
No, not at all.
All right. Well,
must be a reason,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we'll see. Like
Do you have
next
any,
week is,
by the way?
like next week is Double or Nothing, right?
Right.
Their format, I don't know if they're gonna change their format. I don't think AEW is in any debt, so their traditional format, if WWE can find a way to just put it as close to that format as possible, I think they'll find a way to do that.
Well, here's the thing. The smartest thing that's been said in this segment so far was by you when you talked about the debt of Paramount and acquisitions. I want to show you something that a lot of people are talking about right now. And like you said, I don't know how true this is. I don't know if this is a real thing or not. All I know is, what the hell? Where did it go? Oh, my bad. All I know is that it's being talked about. But if you go to AI or any other institution like it that's supposed to be unbiased, you ask it, how much debt is TKO in? And the answer purportedly comes out every single time between $4.6 and $4.9 billion. And while this debt figure is high, the company is generating significant revenue, positive cash flow. Yeah, with $788 million in cash and cash in cash. So I could say like one of two things, right? One, perhaps this current era that we're experiencing with crazy commercials and it seems like very little care given
Sorry,
to
Mario,
creative.
you're leaving out also TKO is not a parent company. The parent company is Endeavor. You need to consider how much debt Endeavor is in also.
Very good point.
WMG.
Very, very good point. Very good point. And that's very fair. I agree with you 100%. The only thing is, the point I'm making, though, or trying to make, is that while we see a debt, right, and being in the red is not like a weird thing for a billion-dollar company, right? Most companies will report in the red throughout their quarterly reviews or reports, because it can be ultimately, in the bigger picture, more monetarily valuable to write certain things off, make yourself seem like a company making X amount when you're a company making this amount, especially when you are headed towards an evaluation, or if you're going to come out public. When you need people to see you as a success, there are ways of doing that and manipulating it, right? So all I know is that the money is being made. They're there. So maybe we see this current era that we're in, where it feels like there's just way too many ads for a very short amount of time, right? Maybe they have a goal of cutting that 4.6 billion into 2.8 billion or whatever, in half almost, right? Maybe they have these ideas and quick fix cash grabs that ultimately are just to kind of even the plane or get them to a net neutral place that they can feel comfortable with. You know what I mean? Like being in the red isn't bad. Being in the red for over $4 billion isn't good. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know if this is forever or if this is just a situation where they have to make as much money as quickly as they can before they kind of slow down the blueprint. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that we'll just have to see about it, man. But yeah, O'Shea, he speaks for the people.
He does.
Shout out to his dad, and shout out to him for
who is your
finding
favorite
his own.
Who's your favorite NWA rapper?
Dr. Dre.
Nice.
Or the Doc.
Oh, the Doc was so good. I'm so dude, you're a real one for that answer. Nobody gives that answer. Everybody wants to say Easy. Everyone wants to say Ice Cube. Yo, the Doc. First of all, the beats that he chose were always so good. I think he had an ear for music, not just the streets, but for music. Second of all, his flow was like no one else's. And no one else's since, because it was very of the era, but it was also very like ahead of its time, right? It sucks that things happen the way they did for him. Let me ask you this, though, Alex. Who's the best hip hop super group of all time, right? I mean, obviously you got your just to give you a few examples, your Wu-Tangs, NWAs, Bone Thugs and Harmony, I think could be considered a super group as well. No Limit, Cash Money, OVO, not OVO, Young Money. Who do you think? We were having this debate the other day.
You have to throw in Public Enemy.
Oof. Very well said. Very good one to throw in there. Absolutely.
But yeah, I think most lists you'll just put NWA just because they were like the bridge,
the powerhouse.
Between...
Absolutely, bro. All right, but before
Mario, wait, let me ask you, do you think MJF loses his hair next week?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked this. Yes, I do. And here's the other thing, Alex. I love it. I love it because if this was WWE and it was like John Cena or Roman Reigns, they're not losing their hair. And so it's so easy to just be like, they're not fucking doing anything with this, right? But the fact that AEW seems to right now be in a situation where their top stars are so bought into the company that they're willing to do things and bookings that don't really happen at the top level. Like, I mean, it's crazy that MJF lost the title to Darby. And I can't imagine another egotistical top wrestling star of the last 20, 30 years that would have been okay with that situation. Not without some goofiness. I just saw the Hogan Nash thing again. And that was all goofy. It was all to protect everybody. You know what I mean? It was silly. And only the fans get hurt. Ultimately, MJF, I think, is crazy enough to shave his fucking head. Here's the other thing. Maybe he's got a role coming up where he has to shave his head. And he came and said, hey, guys,
it's also a possibility they might need to put the belt back on MJF quick so that he's in the main event of All In.
But that's still months away though, right? Like, do you think you'd have to do it right now? Like, okay, let me ask you like this. Could MJF lose and then still win the title before All In? Is that a reasonable booking, or does that feel like too flip-flop of a booking? Shout out to Machine Gun Matt in the chat.
Yeah, I feel like it would be too much. And I don't know if
agreed.
Actually. I don't know if Friedman has the genes to grow that hair back, because the only way I see him shaving I think no, it's not a diss. It's just the only way you would volunteer to shave your head that you're that big of star is that you're gonna grow it back. Because I think that's why Vince did it. Like, I think Vince shaved his head because he knew he
look afterwards, didn't he? He kept it short after that forever, didn't he?
Well, he grew his hair back, like.
But no, did he? I'm asking you for real, Alex. I literally don't remember because I smoke way too much. This is what my memory Has. I remember he had his hair that we always remember for him, right? The big pompadour bullshit. And then he lost at WrestleMania to Trump. And then he shaved it. He didn't grow it back. I mean, it grew out, but he always kept it super short after that, didn't he? Or am I remembering wrong?
I think it grew out, but not as much as it was in the 90s before he cut it off.
Okay,
So
okay.
I don't know how. I think maybe Friedman already thinks that if I shave it off now, by like 2028, it will grow back to like a level where it will be marketable to a
Oh, yeah,
wider
yeah, yeah.
audience, if you know what I mean.
That is the unsaid aspect of this. Very well said, Alex.
Because
And
let me be more subliminal with it.
Cook.
There's only like one or two guys who could walk into the main event of WrestleMania bald, and that's Stone Cold and Goldberg. If you're walking into a WrestleMania main event, you gotta have some hair.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But I want to ask you though, because you said, or first of all, shout out to Machine Gun Matt, and this goes to Alex's point. He said, "All In is closer than you think. They have to. They have a stadium that needs a match." That's very true. If this was just like a regular match in bumfuck nowhere, then there's plenty of time for them to do the work. But either Darby's going into that bitch as champion or somebody else is, but they need to decide because that champion needs to be the guy that's booked all the way to then, right? It can't be a situation where you just change the main event a month out, right? Like that would be fucking crazy to me. But I will say this though. He could shave his head, and Alex put this in my brain. You're right. He very well could not grow it back. We know he had the hair thing, right? And I know I've heard that you have to wait a certain amount of time before you drastically cut it. If it doesn't grow back, dude, listen, Alex, what if this situation happens where he cuts it, right? He shaves it, he loses, never grows back, never has the look that, came with the douche roll, and it completely changes the trajectory of everything. Like he loses his hair, and instead of like heading to main event mania in like 2030, he's like on the indies for the rest of his life.
Exactly. And yeah, the Rock is bald, but that's like a completely different situation.
Why you think? Because he wears it well?
He was bald later in his career when he became like the second most famous man in the world.
Yeah. He had that Ricky Saints hair at first as Rocky Maivia when he was like a brand new baby face, right? But then it just started like receding right away. You know what I mean? So I don't know. All I know, dude, is that this is really good on AEW. The fact that I don't know who's gonna win a match with those kinds of stakes means it's a must watch, right? Like CM Punk Roman Reigns was a must watch, even if you knew who was gonna win. But that's the kind of star power you get after years in the biz, right? At the top. When you're a guy like Darby Allin, who's for the first time being, propelled into this high level, and then you're MJF, someone who's been here before, that's the recipe for quality wrestling. Being able to take the fans and the viewer where you want them to, as opposed to them waiting at the destination for you, right? So like a booking or like a match on pay-per-view in the main event is like a destination, right? And those two wrestlers want to take the fans in the car with them and take them on that ride. And they want to point out the scenic shit. They want to say, now, if you look on your left and now you'll see this cow on the right, they want to do that. But the problem is in wrestling, fans are capable of getting to the destination before, and we already know, and we're like smart Mark. So we get there and we're like, yeah, we knew y'all were going to be here. That's all good. Like, that's not as fun It's not as entertaining as being taken on a ride. And that's what's going on right now with AEW. Is they're taking us on a ride. It doesn't feel commercial. It doesn't feel the way WWE feels right now, despite the fact that AEW is very commercial. You know, for everybody that talks about AEW like they're the good guys and, you know, they're not the billionaire club or whatever. This is a company that started out 5, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, and they've all had a toy line. They've had video games. Like, this is the company that started out as $1 million profit, right? The WWE, WWF became that. So it's kind of like two different things. I don't know if you heard, but the AEW toy line for Jaguars, that's gone. They're done, right? The video game, still no updates on it. So I think the AEW might have been a victim of their own success. Too much, too fast.
And to respond to Matt's comment, yeah, Bobby Lashley also main evented WrestleMania. So yeah, okay. Yeah, you can be bald in main event WrestleMania, but I don't think Maxwell Jacob Friedman is that type of guy.
Can you
to go bald?
Be a bald? Can you be a bald like babyface though? Like Hogan was bald-in, but he never, like, other than Stone Cold, who the fuck's been like a good guy bald guy? I feel like bald is such a like bad guy thing. I really do. Even though it's not, and there's no reason for me to think that. It just, I associate being bald with the heel. Oh, I didn't even think this thing was still working. Oh, Goldberg. Yeah, good call.
Yeah.
He said, I wonder how many I could think of. Oh, Big Show too. Yeah. Keep going, Matt. Let's see how many you could think of.
But Mario, did you see the thing with Maxine Dupree this week?
No. Maxine Dupree on social media?
She was no on Raw. She was leaving when Logan and Austin were leaving in the Escalade. There was a chick showing a lot of skin in a dress in an SUV.
I see it now. Oh shit!
I went right to Cam Hendricks' Instagram, and I was like, "Bro, do you see your wife? Like, what's up with
that?" Hilarious. Yo, I wonder what's going on, because they've been like slow playing that forever, dude.
They have.
Holy shit. Yeah, dude, you told me about it. Remember? It was like the beginning of, when was it? Was it right after WrestleMania or before WrestleMania? Remember they had that thing where she got beat and then she was in the back and she was sitting down, and then in the back you could see Logan or Austin come up to her and Logan was with them. You remember? That was like what, 3 months ago?
Yeah.
I need them to pull the trigger on that because I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. I really can't.
Yeah, but I was making a lot of jokes with my homies. I was like, man, she's only been married for a year and she's riding off with 2 of them dudes. God
Bro, that's crazy. Okay, let me ask you this though. Your wife, all right, in another universe, Alex, your wife makes millions of dollars a year, right? Affording you the opportunity to literally do whatever you want, and she supports you. Like, she thinks you're the best at everything, right? So if like you wanted to start like a fucking channel or like write a book or make a movie, she would like literally be all in, right?
Nah, I'm jumping off the building.
But she's a wrestler.
I have too much pride for that.
Whoa, wait, but you don't have to not work. You could still work. Wait, you're saying you have too much pride for her to be the breadwinner or for you to not work?
I would prefer to be the breadwinner, but
sure,
continue with your point. Sorry, I interrupted.
No, not at all. I love getting to know and you know, see how you rationalize stuff. You're very smart in a very interesting way, or at least I find it. But anyway, so she makes millions, but they want her to have a boyfriend storyline. No, it's not going to get sexual. It's not going to get fucking weird. We're not talking about no Rusev, Lana, you know, fucking Bobby Lashley shit. But she is going to be romantically linked, right? But think like the Poppy Mommy shit, right? Rhea and Dom type shit. But
I knew
no
you were gonna
kissing,
go
no
with. I
nothing.
know you were gonna go to that. I knew you were gonna like go in that direction. It's just
Okay,
no,
so
I'm
tell
not
me,
built like that. But that's just me.
because you can't see her in that role, like you couldn't see her in that kind of role, like it would be disrespectful of y'all's
I wouldn't
relationship.
really get with a woman who would even consider that, you know?
So you would never like date an OnlyFans girl or like anything like that.
Not really.
No,
I could
I mean, I
remember I
wouldn't
could
either. I
remember
don't got no problems with anybody
being
doing
with
OnlyFans.
I could remember being with my cousin in Miami and Violet Myers chasing him down the street. Bro was not
What?
gonna
For
catch
real?
that.
That sounds like the craziest story ever.
Allegedly.
Okay, yeah. Listen, I agree with you, right? Like I rock out with
Wait,
that.
you just told on yourself, Mario.
What you
How
mean?
do you know who Violet Myers is?
Yo, first of all, we live in the age of it's like post Maxim. So everything is like not open for everything is like findable. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't have to be in the community to
I was
understand the
being sarcastic. I was being
oh my bad.
sarcastic. You don't have to answer it. You don't have to
Well,
explain yourself.
well, then you know that I've masturbated to her several times then by my answer. No, I'm just kidding. I haven't. No, and to be honest with you, like I've gotten to this age and my niece is like, she's turning 18 in like a month. Bro, I'm telling you, y'all are going to think that I'm capping. I'm not. Bro, I can't watch porn anymore. Can't do it. Can't. All the girls look my niece's age, and my niece, I think, looks 12, 13. I can't. I don't know what it is anymore. I don't. I can't look at 20 something or 18-year-old girls nude, or even in like semi-tasteful like bathing. I can't, dude. It just creeps me out because I know, like, I'm like, oh, that looks like my fucking niece's friend.
I
Oh,
feel like we've deviated here from the
we
show.
definitely deviated, and that's okay. We deviate sometimes. Look at Matt still asking me for my favorite Lola Vice. Listen, I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna tell everybody. I think Lola Vice is fucking hot. I think she is talented, and at the end of the day, I'll be honest. I can't remember a single move she does, but she deserves to be on TV. So, he said you're older than me too.
Don't worry. Damian Priest is gonna get her on TV.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, I'm not gonna. You know what? Y'all are setting me up. I feel like y'all set me up on that one. But I can't really imagine how it got to the point where it got with this conversation. Didn't think I'd be here, but that's okay.
We were talking about the direction of Maxine Dupree joining the Vision.
That's right. That's what we were doing. I like it. All that to say, I like it. I don't think Maxine Dupree's worked at all in what they try to do with her. And I feel like, honestly, the whole Natty shit was like a giant waste. I think it would be so much more impressive, or it would get so much further if Maxine Dupree turns into like an influencer version to like Logan, like a wrestler influencer version of Logan, like, and just becomes like super fucking annoying. And like, I think she would get so much heat, especially because of everything she's been doing. You know what I mean? She's like the perfect candidate to turn evil in like a way that's frustrating to the crowd. You know what I'm saying? He said, I can't look at women in bikinis watches wrestling in 2020.
You were about to ask about the Melky Costa Arnold Allen card.
Oh, yes. Thank you. That's where I was like, which tab was I trying to get to? Anyway, Arnold Allen, Costa, we have a fight. I think they made weight already, right? I think it was earlier.
Yeah, they made weight. Everybody made weight.
Everybody made weight. Good. Yeah. So none of them trained with Keyshawn. Good. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, Arnold Allen, this is a very, very good fight. This, I think, is going to be a back and forth affair for at least the first 25% of the fight. I don't think that I think normally when you get a guy like Arnold Allen or even Costa, it can get a little sloppy. It can, you could bang up a little bit on the inside exchanges based on how wide Allen keeps his offensive sprawl and how wide he is just on his stance and throwing punches. But the fact that they're both southpaw, I think is going to give us like a 6-inch range difference that we normally get from their fights. That's going to bring them a little bit closer. That tells me that at some point, Costa's going to close the gap. Can he make it meaningful? Can he do it in a way that produces a win or in a way that he can keep the momentum in the fight? That's going to be the tough thing, right? I definitely could see Costa winning moments of the fight. I don't think I can see him winning multiple rounds, like dominating rounds. In fact, not at all. But what's your take, Alex? What do you think of this fight? And what do you think's on the line for the winner? This is it's a lightweight, right? Yeah. No, featherweight.
Yeah, featherweight. On the line is staying in the top 10 of featherweight. I think Melky Costa is going to have to really do his best to win the first 3 rounds because Arnold Allen's 5-round experience he's gonna make sure. I think the game plan for him is going to be to wrestle Costa and get him tired. By the 4th and 5th round, I guarantee Costa's going to get gassed. And he's going to have to really bite down and like get through to the judges' scorecards because Arnold Allen's never been knocked out. And I saw in his last fight against Gene Silva, Gene hit him with everything he had, and he was still standing. Well, he wasn't standing. He got knocked down a few times, but he was still there. So unless Costa can knock him out within the first 2 rounds, I think that Allen is more likely for the decision.
Nice. Yeah, I could see that too. I'll say this, look, ultimately, Allen is the guy that they've promoted, that they've, built up a little bit more. He's a guy I think has more recognition. I think if you ask the average UFC fan, which one of these guys do you know? The Arnold Allen would be the answer more than anything else. And so I do think that he's commercially a guy to push if he wins, right? Like it could be a bigger win for him. But honestly, looking at it, I don't know if that's the case because you ask yourself, like, what do you want out of a winner at this point in the UFC, right? At the Paramount era where pay-per-views aren't a thing anymore. What do you want? You want somebody
it's
that
obvious
you can
they want Costa to win. It's obvious.
Exactly. It's
obvious. You have a man who has overcome being like, I don't know, like prejudice, people being prejudiced against him because of his pigmentation of his skin. And he's been accepted by the MMA community. I think they want him to win, but I don't think that's going to happen tonight.
Wait,
but credit to him.
You think the UFC community, like the fans, or do you think it's like the brass as well?
I think it's both. I think
both.
Yeah. At first I looked at him and his skin obviously looks different from when he made his UFC debut.
Sure.
Like it's like kind of went from like him having the spots like dotted on him throughout to it being more like he's mostly like has light skin. Now he like mostly has dark skin. It's like I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, but for him to deliver these knockouts and these submissions, that's exactly how you endear yourself to fighting, no matter how you look.
Yes.
So
Well said.
credit to him.
Well said. I think you're right. There is this sort of underdog feel to him. You know, I don't know how many people remember this. I mean, I've said it on air a bunch of times, but I was actually born with a huge hole in my stomach, and the doctors had to like fix it up. And it was like 5 years before I was like stably outside of the hospital. And I can tell you that when you're in those positions, right, where you're like seen as different, uh, it makes you endearing. You know, like I would have nurses just like rooting for me I had nurses come to my baseball games when I was like 7. People I haven't seen in 2 years, and they came because they wanted, I guess, like a feel good story. I don't know, but they just wanted to see, you know, me accomplish something, anything. And I think that there's this aspect to that of Costa's uh narrative and his story. That said, though, you look, this guy is 5 fights in on a winning streak, right? No. How many? He is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fights winning streak. And, you know, you look at some of these names, obviously none stand out as much as Dan's, but ultimately these are quality wins, right? 2 submissions back to back. Then he gets 2 decision victories, unanimous. Christian Rodriguez is a good win for sure. Julian Erosa's a very good win as well. And then KOs his last 2 fights. So if there's anybody that you can market right now, this is the guy. This is the guy who you could say, hey, his resume looks good. We can sell him as a fighter. You know, a 7-fight win streak sounds awfully good when you're selling a pay-per-view. All these things point to Mel Costa being somebody who the UFC would prefer to win. You know, and again, it's a situation.
Yeah, but
just
I think Arnold Allen's gonna win.
Yeah,
Saying
I
all
agree.
that, I think Arnold Allen's winning, and Arnold Allen still got some juice. Like you can still put him in the UK or Europe against anyone in like the top 10.
Dude, so
And
right. You're so right.
yeah.
You're so right. Arnold Allen is a guy who there's still a lot of juice left in that squeeze. What the hell is supposed to go to his pro?
While our nation's
Why does he
best
do
are
this every time? I just want to see how old he was. 32.
And to answer
the
Matt's
Sherwin
question
Williams.
real quick, Keyshawn is not fighting for a title tomorrow. There's no belt on the line. It's just a filler fight.
Really? I didn't even know that. I had no idea. It's not for the title?
Which one?
Holy shit, it's not for any title. What the fuck?
You didn't know that?
No, I did not know that, Alex. I mean, I'm okay with that. I'm not saying I needed it to be or anything. I'm shocked.
Oh, shout out to Seven Dust and Theory of a Dead Man. Ooh, I'd go watch that.
I haven't seen that yet, but that sounds interesting. You're absolutely right. I don't know, dude. I don't fucking know at all why. I had no clue. Yeah, you're right. It's not on the line at all. Anyway, yeah, Davis, he had to get naked, still weighed 0.1, then came back 2 hours later. He's in it. He's good. They're ready to rock. The question is, did Keyshawn leave something in training camp or not? I think also the question is, can Albright take the confidence from the weigh-in and expand on it in the ring? I don't know. We'll see. I really needed the post-work nap. Thank you guys for talking about Maxine Dupree and MMA. Dude, you're such a hater, Mex. Mario grew up with nurses rooting for him just to grow and meet a friend who actively roots against him. Yep, that's exactly what happened. Ain't life funny? That's exactly what happened.
Also, shout out to Polyana Viana and Shauna Bannon. They're fighting on that card in the prelims. So
is it the main prelims? Or is it it's not the main card, it's gonna be the prelims?
Prelims, yeah.
Got you. Okay, cool. Yeah, the card's good, dude. Choi and Santos, that could be a really good scrap. Malcolm Wellmaker's coming off of a good performance.
Yeah, it's good fight wise, but when it name value, it's the bottom of the barrel.
Yes, fair. It is bottom of the barrel name wise. Yeah. Oh shit. Damn, Cody Bundred's fighting all the way down in the fucking prelims, and he's fighting Petra. Wow, I'm surprised there. Oh wait, never mind. There was more fights. I was like, this is gonna be like the first fight on a card that has like nobody that anybody knows. I want to see Chuko. He lives, or he no, he lives. I mean, he does live, but he trained at a gym with a buddy of mine. Well, he's actually UK Rob's buddy, but I used to work for him. And so he would be in the back when we would be live. He would just be in the background training a lot of times.
What's up?
The fuck is this?
Go practice.
God, dude. These commercials on ESPN are fucking ridiculous. All right. So we basically covered everything we were going to cover. I will say, though,
I'm going to listen to Iceman or no?
Wait, what?
Are you going to listen to Iceman or no?
About what?
Iceman. Today, Drake released his album today.
Iceman. It did come out, though, for sure. Alex, do you know?
Yeah, it did come out today. He put out 3 albums.
No, he didn't. Are you fucking
He put out 3 albums today just to spam, like, just to cheat the system. So his stuff will be like at the top of the charts for like, so he could like spam the chart, you know?
Yo, this is a bare bones feature list. Holy
but I'm not
shit,
I'm not
Alex.
listening to it. I'm not really yeah.
Why? Were you a fan of Drake?
No, I was never really a fan of Drake, and I always thought he was. When people were saying he was the best rapper of this generation, I always brought up a few guys. I always liked J. Cole over him technically, and of course there's Kendrick. So
what did you think of the J. Cole's a bitch narrative whenever he put out the diss track and then took it back? What did you think of that?
I think 10 years from now that will still be relevant. And
in terms of a bad or good thing?
In terms of a bad, well, on one side it will be a bad thing, but it will be twisted as a good thing. It will be a debate for a long time.
Yeah, I agree, dude. Because I remember when it first happened, I was like, damn, because I love me some Cole, bro. Cole, yo, it's a Cole fucking world, blood. And I know that because that man's been rocking the mic for a long time. And I remember thinking, yo, this is a situation like Cole versus Kendrick. This is like Barrera Morales for me. These are just 2 guys that I fucking love and respect. And I have just so much appreciation for their raw talent. I just want to see the best match I could have. Let it go. You know what I mean? Let it fly. And then when Cole walked it back, it wasn't even like, oh, you're a bitch. I was disappointed as a fan. Like, damn, I wanted some fucking bars, bro. I wanted that ether shit. I wanted that fucking Eminem and the fucking owner of the XXL shit. Like, I wanted that real deal raw hip hop beef. And when he walked it back, it did feel like, damn, you bitched out. But then
I didn't listen to the fall off. I haven't listened to.
Oh, you didn't really?
No.
Wow. See, and now I've changed my mind. Now I'm like, yo, that took some real fucking balls. Cause like, what are we gonna say that Drake's better than J. Cole now? Come on, that's ridiculous, right? What are we gonna say that Drake won a fight that the guy didn't show up for? Or Kendrick? Like, no, of course not. To me, J. Cole gets like a pass, like that Bruce Lee pass, like that Jean-Claude Van Damme pass. Like, I'm too much of a badass to fuck with you. You know what I would do, bro? I would dismantle you. I would fuck up the culture. I would ruin rap. I would set the black community back by like 30 decades, bro, because that's how bad I would fuck y'all up. And he's like, I'm gonna just pause out and I'm gonna play this one super humble. Yo, that was a G move for real.
What I believe is we are in fact watching the party die. The media is going to try to push this.
Oh, he said it.
The media will give Drake like the song of the summer. They'll probably put one of his songs from Iceman on the radio and call it Song of the Summer. He'll probably get the Grammy for Best Rapper, and he'll get the MTV Awards and all the American Music Awards. And, you know, they'll push it as one of the greatest comebacks in rap history, which it's not really. It's just, you know, not a lot of people are putting out good music right now.
Very well said.
But yeah,
I think it's also though that it wasn't like a battle. It wasn't even like a beef. It really was like a litmus test, right? Like you know what the Drake beef was for Kendrick? You know, in Street Fighter, when you're like battling like all the bottom guys, right, to get to like the sub bosses like Vega and Borag and all those people, right, before you get to the final boss, which is M. Bison, right? So in between those actual fights, those real tests, you versus another human being, they will have like side quests, and you would just beat the shit out of a car, right? Or you would like, I don't know, fuck up boards. I don't remember what you did, right? That's what Drake was for Kendrick. Drake was a side quest. You know,
I disagree. Really? I believe Drake was the machine. And now Drake doesn't have as much of the machine behind him as he did before.
Oof.
He still has it, but he doesn't have it like he did before. So
yeah. No. And you know what? To add to your point, it almost feels like he knew that during the beef and he wanted it. Like, remember, what was that line? He said, you already know it's a 20v1. Yo, he was going after everybody. He talked shit about Travis Scott. He talked shit about Rick Ross. And yeah, a lot of these people had already said shit, but he went after everybody. This wasn't a Kendrick versus Drake. This was a Drake versus the side of the industry that don't fuck with Drake, right? And so when you have those two competing narratives, one of them's going to fail. One of them's going to flop. And so ultimately seeing Drake lose that machine that was behind him is like a bigger win than a hip hop beef, right? Like, I'm sorry, dude. I love Eminem. I think Eminem's one of the greatest.
Had the machine behind.
Really? What? Hold on. Let me finish this point real quick. When I love Eminem, I honestly think he's the greatest rapper of all time. I really do. And I could probably win a debate, I think, on that. I'd be willing to hear a lot of other people's arguments, but I think Eminem's the best, right? That said, Eminem has never done what Kendrick did. What Kendrick did is like unachievable. He made a diss track against a rapper and turned it into a fucking anthem. Bro, when you're at the Super Bowl and the entire crowd and at home yells A minor, that's it. Over, done. I don't care what bars you got, Eminem. I don't care what bars you got, Nas and Jay-Z. I don't care what bars you got, Ludacris and T.I. I don't care what bars you got.
Can I respond to Joseph?
Please do.
Joseph, the machine turned again. You're right. The machine turned against Drake, but that's only because Kendrick accused him of the worst possible crimes you can think of.
Yeah. See, he's saying that's why I don't give it credit because did anyone think Drake was going to be a better rapper? No, of course not. Of course not. And you're right. He doesn't deserve credit for beating on a dude 10 weight classes below him. That said, though, if you're telling me it wouldn't be impressive to see Anthony Joshua literally, not figuratively, literally punch Floyd Mayweather with an uppercut that sent him 30 feet up into the air and then the fourth row, and you're not going to say, damn, that was a fucking good punch. You're not respecting enough the art of it, right? Because it's like, bro, nobody does that. Who the fuck does that? He didn't just beat Drake in a beef. He changed the entire cultural narrative on this man. Before Kendrick and that beef, the narrative was Drake is forever young, will always fuck the baddest bitches. It doesn't matter if his friends are 18-year-olds because he's young at heart, right? He's not a shitty dad. He's the best dad in the world. Like, all these different narratives were true about Drake. And now none of those are. And in fact, the only thing that we know for sure is
Mario, with the release of this, with the release of this new album, I think a little bit of that is gonna come back.
Why? Why,
The
Alex?
machines, it's just, well, right now it's like kind of like a weird period in rap. No one has really this year put out anything that went up the charts.
Nah.
Shout out to
Baby Keem's
the
was all right.
Scythe and
Oh yeah,
all
Scythe,
them
yeah,
guys.
I saw that.
They put out something this year, so that was good.
And the numbers weren't
Yeah,
bad.
but Drake is the only commercial rapper who has put stuff out now this year. So it's gonna take somebody else to
What
put
about
something.
Lil Baby?
Um,
You don't count him as
uh,
commercial?
Little
Or like
Baby didn't really, yeah, he didn't
he?
really blow the roof off of anything.
No, he
But
didn't. No, he
Baby
didn't.
Keem, shout out to Baby Keem,
Yeah,
and
I
shout out
love
to
that
ASAP
album.
Rocky.
ASAP Rocky put it
They
in.
both put out good albums this year. So
You know what I'm gonna say too, bro? People are gonna get so mad. I don't mean it. I'm saying this, but I don't mean it the way people are gonna want to interpret it. The Kanye album wasn't bad. Here's the thing: it wasn't great, but when you compare it to the slop, the AI slop that we heard originally, that was supposed to be that album, and then when you hear part 2 of his track or his album with what's his name, the combined album they did, yo, it was actually a decent album. Like it wasn't bad. Like it was actually all right. You know what I mean? There was actually some pretty good tracks. Once he lost all the like Hitler shit, it was a decent album. You know what I mean? But he said, nah, J. Cole don't get a pass. That was the biggest bitch move. I'm not saying it, and I'm not saying it wasn't. I'm saying like we interpret bitch moves, and then when years go by, we like re-examine. I think what'll happen in like a decade or maybe 2 or 3.
Mario, they're
people
both
are gonna
saying
re-examine it.
your age is showing. They're both
Why?
saying your age is showing.
Nah, Alex Kendrick was the machine. Oh, entire machine was stacked against Drake during that beef. Nah, I don't think that's true, Mex. I think that the entire machine knew that they wouldn't make any more money off of their cash cow, and they try to change and spin the narrative. And Kendrick was so fucking good a rapper that they literally couldn't talk better than he could rap. Literally, these people could not come up with a talking point or talking points and or narrative to get away from that Kendrick shit. He was rapping better than they could speak. Imagine if all you had to do was talk instead of rhyme, and somehow your words just rhyme. That's what like Kendrick was doing. It was ungodly. Exactly, Mario. That was the machine behind that. But it wasn't that it was the machine. It was the reaction to the machine. When Rick Ross and Travis Scott and fucking all these people that have had legitimate issues with Drake and how he has finessed the industry, that's the response of the industry to the industry. You see? So it wasn't that Drake is absolutely a machine, right? There are billionaires sitting in a fucking penthouse in New York, in LA, and across the world that have a piece of that guy. You know what I mean? There are people that are making money for the rest of their lives off of Drake. So
WWE collabed with OVO this year.
I forgot about that, bro. I literally forgot about that until you just said that right now. Fuck. That's crazy. Did he though? Because I'm seeing on my socials is people have gone back with Drake. Nah, I'm seeing on my socials that people want to go back to Drake. The people that want to go back to Drake feel like pressure to not be able to go back to Drake, because it's two things, right? You got to realize it's two things. It's the narrative that he was a pedo, right? Like a PDF file. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that. I'm just saying that's the narrative. And then you go behind that narrative and you look at the facts. And the facts are that his music for 20 years now has relied on the same type of content, right? He is a fuckboy, except that he's a grown man with a child, right? So it's like, how long is it cool to pretend to be Drake? Because Drake's not real, right? He's like the 40-year-old at the party. So at the end of the day, he doesn't have to show his age because it already exists. And now I think people are aware of the narrative. Like, what am I partying to, right? Because it was one thing for 19-year-old Mario would be like, way too many, and I'm still right here. Like, that's one thing, right? It's another thing to be like a grown-ass man at the club and be like, who's calling my phone? Who's calling my phone? Like, I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same now. It feels like, this party's over, bro. Like, and it's this narrative, right? And you know who has this narrative? Two-Tone. I'm not trying to hate on Two-Tone at all. This isn't to hate on Two-Tone. It's the only name I could think of that fits this narrative. But I remember seeing Two-Tone talking about, can we just get back to loving Drake? Can we just get back to the party? Can we just get back to, yeah, you want to get back to that because you fucking picked the loser and you realize that all his songs are about the same type of shit. And it's like, that's cool, but that's not hip hop. That's not even art. That's you trying to manufacture buys and views and listens, right? And download.
I guarantee you, when I go to the clubs like this summer, they're gonna play at least like one song from this Iceman album.
100%. But let me ask you this though.
But that's gonna be the first Drake song they've played in like 3 years.
No, Calling My Phone was getting played, wasn't it? You've been to the club more than I have in the last couple years, so maybe I'm wrong, but wasn't
I think I heard what did I miss once in the club.
Really? What? No, damn, bro. That's crazy. Because I'll be honest, I don't really fuck with Drake anymore either. But yo, Calling My Phone was like not a bad song. You know, it kind of was the anthem for that summer. I mean, you had every artist. I mean, you had every athlete sucking his dick for that track. You know what I mean? Like I remember Ryan did like a whole fucking 8-minute live where he just sang that song like back to back to back. It was fucking weird. Drake, like Canelo, dog, he can take a loss and still be the top dog. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I love that you use this example, Mex. I'm so glad you use this example because guess what? You're right. You're right. Drake's still on top. He ain't never left. Nobody ever kicked Drake off the top spot. That never happened. And Canelo never got knocked off his top spot either. He's still the cash cow too. But guess what? If you know, you know. And nobody, no hardcores, not me, not you, not Alex, not anybody watching right now believes Canelo's still that guy. Nobody believes in Canelo like that. Canelo doesn't represent that Cinco de Mayo, let's fucking get the Mexican in the ring and bang it out. He don't represent that no more, champ. He's still a cash cow because casuals are dumb, or not dumb, they're just less educated, right? But at the end of the day, Drake exists in the same kind of way. He is still at the top. You're right. But nobody thinks Drake is the same Drake. Like there was a time when people thought Drake was the GOAT. People were saying, nah, he's got to be number one because his bars are good and great and he can rap, but he's also making hits and commercial. And it's like, I don't know why that has anything to do with anything, but that's true. Canelo, Drake, they're all going to be cash cows for as long as they live. And yet, or as long as their careers exist. And yet nobody thinks they represent the upper echelon of their respective genres anymore. Mario's age is showing. Why did they say my age is showing, Alex? What did I say?
I think you were just mentioning older, like
many old
beasts
people.
and older.
I'll tell you what, I love Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I don't give a fuck how old how much that ages me. I think Mexican OT gonna bounce back with his next one. Man, I'm getting worried about Mexican OT. Alex, you fuck with Mexican OT?
Wasn't he the one on TV Off?
He's the big, yes, he was on TV Off. He's the big fat Mexican with the mullet. He's got good tracks. I like his tracks, but I'll be honest, bro. The last year and a half of music has gone down. Ever since he put out that song with Wayne on the radio, is like, baby mad at me, I've been up all night, and I smell like
Matt says he wasn't on TV Off. Matt says he was not.
Oh, he wasn't.
On TV
oh, okay, then never mind. My bad. Who am I? What were I thinking of? That he was on something. I know. Did you see? What's his name's TV Off performance? Fuck, I'll find it. Didn't no one give a fuck about any other side issues that wasn't Kendrick and Drake? True. Iceman was good. Them other two albums is ass. Wait, what? What you mean good? You heard the album already? I thought it just came
Oh,
out.
it was. I see the comment. It was Lefty Gunplay that was on TV off. Damn.
Oh, that's
My
who
bad.
it was. That's who it was. Lefty Gunplay. My bad. Yes, absolutely. I knew it too. I was just like, wait. I can't remember his name. Lefty Gunplay. Yeah, he's the one that seems like he's always on meth. I don't fuck with Lefty Gunplay. I don't think he's a good rapper. I think he's a good character. But Mexican T actually has bars. Bro, that PDS shit gets way overblown, Mario. How many motherfuckers still listen to R. Kelly, SPM? Fucking Michael Jackson is the #1 artist in the world right now. No, but see, you're wrong, Mex. You're wrong. And let me tell you why you're wrong. It does matter. Maybe it gets blown out of pocket, right? But it matters because it dictates where you can make bread, right? You said it yourself. R. Kelly, Michael Jackson, they're all still getting the downloads. Great. But how much money are these people getting paid to perform? How many people are calling them to show up to the Grammys or be in Hollywood movies? Or like, these people are done. Commercially, they're done. They're persona non grata in the entertainment industry because real America, people like us, have learned that the entertainment industry, specifically in Hollywood, is fucking gross. It's just a constant place where people are date raped and gang raped and abused and recorded doing gross, horrific things without their consent and then used to blackmail them to sign ridiculous contracts. None of this is conspiracy anymore, right? That's like trying to say that the JFK thing is a conspiracy, or UAPs or UFOs are no, they're not. They're not. They're just real things. Now, conspiracy nuts take them and go crazy with them, sure, but they're not conspiracy theories, and neither is this. Ultimately, Drake isn't hurting, but he does not represent that thing that he once did, which was the upper echelon of pop stardom. Right? He was the cool guy, dude. How many people at the top remain cool? Nobody stays cool. Like, once you become like so big, all your hardcore fans are like, oh, he went too mainstream. Fuck that, right? That's what everybody says. Nobody said that about Drake, bro. Drake is taking a hit for sure. He is not as Hollywood or as pop as he once was, right? And here's the thing, that's true because he's going to Aiden Ross's brand risk. Like, I'm not trying to talk shit, but I'm saying, like, bro, nobody in Hollywood, as fake as they are, would ever be step foot in there because they don't want to risk their brands. Like, because you know what's going to happen, right? Tom Cruise, let's say Tom Hanks goes to a brand risk fight, right? What's going to happen when Tom Hanks is at the Academy Awards? And so you're okay with people using the N-word, right? Because you were filmed for 5 seconds with a streamer who said the N-word 5 years ago. So that means you say it too, right? And it's like, nah, fuck off with that bullshit. You're trying to catch people up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what happens in Hollywood. So it's not that they're like, oh, I don't want to associate myself with some pieces of shit or boxing or whatever. It's to say, I don't want to have to answer stupid reporters' questions when they ask me about this loose affiliation with some guy who said the N-word 20 years ago or was racist against Asians or handicap or whatever the fuck, right? Like, that's bullshit. So I don't want to deal with that bullshit. I don't have to deal with those questions. Yet Drake seems very willing to continue to trivialize those people. See, but not everybody listens to music for it to be deep. Not everything got to have a message. I agree. But at the same time, bro, like, here's the thing, right? I don't think anybody's listening to 6ix9ine anymore, like in the club or like in general, right? And yet some of his fucking music slaps. Like, I still listen to, what was that first song with the Bloods? And the Betty up and my Betty up.
I don't know.
I forgot. Whatever. That song, bro. I love that song. I'll listen to that song at the gym, bro. That song is like, oh my God, I love it. But guess what? 6ix9ine, he's out of pocket now. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't with the shits, so to speak. I don't know.
The only song I know from 6ix9ine is from a meme where, like, they played like the song Gumo.
Oh yes,
and it was a funny meme.
Yes. Yeah. I remember that one. Also Billy shit right up. Yo,
but it was used in a comedy meme, so I laughed my ass off about it.
Oh yeah. No, those memes were hilarious, and all those response videos were hilarious in the 6ix9ine era. Alex's voice sound like Matt's bro-in-law, Aaron. The hell would that be? Your brother-in-law too? Up until Not Like Us, you were hearing Kendrick in the clubs, and I spent all the 2010s in the club. You were hearing or weren't hearing?
No, he means weren't, but no, they played Mad City. They played Mad
That
City
City was a
sometimes in the
big
club.
one. No, let me ask you this. Is Swimming Pools, is there any Drake song that was bigger than Swimming Pools in the club?
Wasn't
0 to
God
100,
damn.
maybe?
I'm forgetting something.
Or from the bottom, right? I feel like I am too. I'm like, I got to be forgetting something because I'm thinking of Swimming Pools. They played it everywhere all the time. I was still going to the club at that time. And I could tell you that I heard that. I got so sick of it. I loved that song for so long. And I heard it so much. I was like, damn, I fucking cannot stand this song no more. And I fuck with Kendrick. The only time I could hear that song was the remix because he has that badass verse at the end. Where he's like, all that. The Grinder? Oh, it's on the tray. So yeah. I don't know. Maybe he's right. I'm just glad Drake addressed it and called out the little motherfuckers that tried to jump in and beg for forgiveness. Yeah, that's the thing that's so gross about this, right? Everybody went in. It was a fuck Kendrick, fuck Drake sort of vibe, right? And it was so dumb because these same two people were going to still be like the biggest stars. So you had to have all these people kind of double back and say they were out of pocket or whatever. And it's like, damn, your loyalty is based on whoever's like going to give you the most clout. You know what I'm saying? That's why, I'll be honest, that's why I fucking hate what's going on with the conservative and Republican Party right now. Like, why does it have to be either JD Vance or fuck, what's his name? Rubio. Why? Right? And Trump doesn't even know who it's going to be. And that's the thing, is he doesn't want to pick either one because he doesn't want to pick wrong. Right? He doesn't want to pick the loser.
I think he knows, but that's another subject for another day.
You do? No. And we don't have to talk about it. We don't have to get into it. But you think he does? Because that's what a lot of other people were saying.
He said it himself. He said it right before he said in the Rose Garden that this is definitely not an endorsement, but
yeah,
JD and a Marco ticket is the golden ticket. That's pretty much a guarantee. I think.
Do you think that would make do you think they could make that
Marco
work?
said it himself. Marco said, if JD's running, I'm not running. So JD's gonna be VP. But yeah, that's a different subject. But
yeah, no, for sure. I would say, but do that.
To your
it should
point,
be JD as the president and Rubio as the vice president. I don't think it works if JD tries to come back as vice president, Rubio goes in as president.
But to your point, it's like my situation. I'm keeping the same energy. I don't listen to Drake, and I'm not gonna listen to Drake, especially after he lost that battle. So I'm keeping like that same energy. It's just, it's not my thing. And people thought Drake was people are saying Drake is the GOAT now. Like, people in Toronto, Canadian media is back on him.
Well, he's saying that they were riding his cock if they were saying that. And I actually don't think he's wrong about that. You remember, that guy from Canada? I forget his name, but he's like a troll. He's like a rapper, but he also streams. And he's the one that told Kendrick that he wasn't good in Canada no more and that he couldn't come to Canada no more. Anyway, that guy, it's like you can't take anything he says serious. You know what I mean? It's just like they're just sucking off to suck off because that's where they get their money. That's where they get their bread. You know what I mean? Like if I worked for I'll tell y'all a story right now, a real story. You know who I picked in the Floyd Mayweather Robert Guerrero fight? I picked Robert Guerrero to beat Floyd Mayweather. And most people thought I was crazy. Most people said I didn't know shit about boxing. But what they didn't know is I was working as a junior publicist for Robert Guerrero.
Don't be like that. I just saw Joseph's comment. Joseph, don't be like that.
Mexico.
This is my first. I didn't listen to the fall off. And pretty much everybody listened to the fall off. So
I want to get through. No. Mexican OT was not on TV off. Do not compare him to that chunky piece of shit. Yeah, you're thinking of Lefty Gunplay. Thank you. It came out last night. Damn. How the fuck did you listen to those albums from last night? Did you work like a 12-hour shift? That's crazy, dude. Albums release 11 p.m. Eastern. Oh yeah, yes, they come out early. But yeah, Drake pulled a triple play, dropped 3 albums last night. Crazy, dude. No, Lefty Gunplay is a terrible rapper. Agreed. Well, 2 are prison, 1 is dead. That's cap. If SPM comes out, that first concert is going to be fucking lit, and I'm willing to bet you'll be right there next to me. Exactly. Me, a hardcore fan of his, will be right there next to you. Drinking, smoking, loving it. But do you think Sprint's gonna like try to be a sponsor? Probably not, right? You think Walmart or Budweiser, well, maybe Budweiser. You think that these like top billionaire brands are going to associate themselves with SPM? That's what I'm trying to say. It's more like they're persona non grata. That doesn't mean they can't make money, right? Plenty of comedians and actors and musicians make millions that you've never even heard of, right? Because they tour the spaces that they are appreciated in the most, right? So yeah, SPM would definitely pop off, but that don't mean he's ever coming back to like major, shit. I think out of 2 hours total, I've got about 30 minutes on my phone, so that's not bad. Nice. Because Johnny Manziel is his boy, Mario. Oh, now we're getting to it. That Johnny Manziel fight, bro. I can't wait, by the way. Chris Brown beat Rihanna's ass in front of the world and is going on a stadium tour. I promise Drake's still going to be doing the biggest tours in the country. You're probably right about that, although those are 2 different things, I think. Chris Brown is a much sadder situation to me. Like, if you're going to a Drake concert, I'm gonna let you live. Like, why would I judge you on that? That's just go to have a good time. Shit, if I was single and I wanted to, meet a bunch of women at once that maybe one of them would be dumb enough to have sex with me, I will go to a Drake concert and try to pick women up. You know what I mean? Like, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I go to a Drake concert to pick women up? So, like, ultimately, like, I agree. He's still gonna be a top seller for sure. I never got into 69. 69 had fucking bangers. 69 had bangers for sure. I don't think he was a good rapper, but he definitely had bangers. 69 is fucking hilarious on streams. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, same. I always thought he was just a meme, so I thought he wasn't for real. Don't listen to Mex. He has CTE. He don't remember. If you were in the club hearing Mad City, there was a lot of dicks in that club. No, man. Yo, man, that was actually fucking hilarious. But he's trolling. And Mad City is one of my favorite songs. So Mario and Alex, good boys who do what they're told is what I took from this. No. Bullshit. At the end of the day, what it is that once you unplug from the Matrix, you can't, there's no other pills left, right? They think that it's a blue and a red pill. It's not. When you unplug from the Matrix, you're like, these bitches are both gray. What the fuck? And you say, boom. So once that happens in music, nah, you're I'm telling you. Wait, you picked Robert Guerrero over Floyd Sr.? Nah, Max, you don't remember that? I always used to get shit. People would talk shit. I hid the fact that I didn't hide it, but I didn't tell people because I was still working as a journalist. It definitely wasn't right. But I was working for Mario Serrano back then, who was the publicist for many fighters, including Nate Campbell and Robert Guerrero and several others. So when Robert Guerrero got the Mayweather fight, I was already working for the magazine Premier Round, for which Mario Serrano was a content editor for. And he knew that Robert Guerrero was getting the fight. He told me about 2 weeks before the announcement came out. And he said, I'm going to have a shit ton of work. I need you to come on board. Can you would you feel comfortable doing publicist work? I was like, fuck yeah, bro. I'm comfortable getting paid. That's what I'm comfortable with. At the end of the day, it was fucked up, right? That I shouldn't have been working as a journalist and a publicist at the same time. But I'll be honest, the only places where my shit was getting read was from being a publicist. Like, I'll never forget when I put out my first PR stuff for Serrano's company, and I looked the next day and my everything that I wrote was on ESPN, Yahoo, Sports Illustrated. My work was literally everywhere. I mean, it didn't have my name on it. These were publicity stuff that we were sending, and they would take our quotes. They would take our, shit and use it like that. So yeah, I didn't tell anybody, and we were on the Boxing Voice, and then the Guerrero Mayweather stuff happened, and I felt like I couldn't pick Mayweather. Like, if there was somebody on the team, going against the team, but it made me look like an idiot. It made me look like everybody was like, dude, you're a fucking moron. Like I had a lot of people lose respect for my opinion based on that. And years later, you know, I'd come out and tell everybody the truth. Ness would come out and tell everybody the truth. You know, I was playing double duty. It was fucked up, bro. I shouldn't have done it, but I was young. I didn't know any better. Yes, Matt works overnight. I didn't listen to it yet, though. Oh, Matt listened to it. My bad. My bad, Max. I thought you listened to it. Matt, you liked it, though. You said everything was good except for, or the Iceman was good, but the other one sucked. I worked third shift. So, yes, I worked 9 to 10 hours in the middle of the night. So I had the time. Yeah, bro. That's what I figured Mex did, but I didn't know it was you who had done it. Food's Gone Wild will sponsor. Yeah, probably. No, they won't. Food's Gone Wild is Cali shit. They don't fuck with Texas. Oh, that's very true, too. Yeah, they hate Texas. Yo, speaking of Chris Brown, I didn't know he dropped an album last week. Must have been bad. Damn, I didn't know that either. I must have intentionally blocked out that you picked Robert because that was a round 1 level bad pick. Yeah, no, it definitely was. And again, I fully admit that was a fucked up thing to do. I want to say that I didn't know better, but that's not true because I remember thinking to myself, like, yikes, I can't ever let anyone know this happened the way it did because no one will ever trust me again. And my word won't mean shit. And I guess I just got lucky that the world turned into a place where you don't have to be a journalist and you could just have that experience and then do this type of shit. You know what I mean? Because probably admitting that now probably wouldn't let me, like, there would probably be a lot of people that wouldn't hire me, right? Like, just admitting that now, like, probably shouldn't have done that, but oh well. 13 years removed from that fight, and I'm still disgusted as if the fight was this weekend. Yeah, no, it was disgusting, dude. It was definitely disgusting. But listen.
What do you think is the next move, Mario? Do you think Kendrick is just going to let Drake have 2026 to himself, or do you think he's going to do anything?
Good question. Very good question. I have heard from several very prominent places on Reddit. These are like places that have broken Kendrick stuff before. So I assume they're like family members or some shit. That the last album was like a filler. And that this whole time he's been working on the album that's coming out. That said, we had gotten an early 2026 date when he dropped the GNX one. So it's like, I don't know what's going on, but I can tell you that I have little confidence that the music he's working on has anything to do with Drake. I think he lets Drake live, and he probably
it doesn't have to. No, but
2026.
That doesn't work like that, Mario. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. No. What I mean is, it doesn't have to mention Drake. It doesn't have to have anything to do with Drake. But if it's like 16 instant classic songs and hits, then that's going to automatically overshadow what Drake has done this year, in which it's still a continuation of everything. They are forever linked to each other.
You're absolutely right. And here's the other part. Everybody in the media is going to take it as a shot. Everybody's going to make it seem like Kendrick did it on purpose. Like he came out with great music just to overshadow. Like that's crazy, right? But that's going to be the narrative. So you're right. They're forever linked. I didn't think about it that way. You're right. But I do think he gives him 2026. And based on what you just said, now I feel like maybe he gives him 2026 almost as like an olive branch, like an unspoken olive branch. Like, especially if Kendrick hits us with like a 2027, like early release date, and it's music with references that are clearly like shit he's been working on. Yo, that would absolutely, you could read that as an attempt to mend fences. Maybe not be friends or like publicly be cool, but to just be like exactly what Mex said, both moved on type shit. It's been reported Drake did this to wrap up his deal with UMG, giving them the last 3 projects on the deal so he can walk. I heard that from somebody, I don't remember who, but people were saying that this was a big move for Drake to do that because it essentially opens the avenue for a lot of rappers coming up, right? Essentially that him doing this provides a blueprint that could have one of two repercussions. One, they start to put language in contracts that make it so that you can't album dump, or it opens up an avenue for rappers and other artists of any genre to essentially do the same. And in that, you're able to push art out that you wouldn't normally be able to at that level, and then simultaneously free yourself from any fucked up situations that you might have going on contractually. If Kendrick continues on the Drake thing, I think it would end up going badly for him. Yeah, I don't think he's dumb enough to do it. I don't. And here's the thing. I don't think he does it because
I disagree. I disagree. I think they can go back and forth forever. I think they go back and forth forever.
You think so? Really? You
If
don't
they
think
decided to.
What's the longest battle that I can't think? I feel like Jay-Z and Nas went on forever. That's the one I from my head, from my brain, like in my memories, that's the one I remember the most, like for years, even longer than the West Coast, East Coast stuff. Like looking back at that, that was a blur. You know, that was like 2 years of just heavy fucking media presence and just pumping this West Coast, East Coast beef.
Given all that, I think that the official beef is probably over, but I think the rivalry is still gonna be lingering.
Ooh, well said.
And it will especially be there if Kendrick releases an album this year. If he releases it next year, then I think that will be more of, hey, everybody's releasing their own stuff now and everybody's moved past everything. But
very good call.
Yeah.
And I think you're right in that way, because it's like you'll never separate. It's like the Red Sox and the Yankees, right? Like that rivalry. When I was a kid, that rivalry was everything. That was one of the biggest rivalries in all of sports. Today, it feels like they're like just like, friends that hook up on the side and don't want to tell anybody. Like I don't know.
But I can guarantee they're never collabing. They're never gonna collab ever.
That's what Matt said. He said, I think a collab album is coming, and they strung all this together. The ultimate work. Listen to me. If that is the case, if Drake and Kendrick worked us the whole time, that is the level of Vince, Sean, Brett working us on the Montreal Screwjob. Like that would be that level. Like Razor, Scott Hall said it in the documentary on the Dark Side of the Ring. He said that he thought that was always a work. The Montreal Screwjob was a work. Bro, that is
y'all watching too much wrestling, man.
For real, right? No, I don't think it was a work, but I loved when he said that shit. They're gonna start adding time like wrestling and boxing contracts. No shit. Nah, Alex, the beef shit is old now. This generation ain't got the attention span for that. Maybe. Yeah, I would be shocked if they drop a collab. They said Chris Brown and Drake wouldn't collab either. Yo,
it's all like, I know G is not gonna invade Taiwan. Sure. That's why we're ready for that. But
yeah,
that's another story.
Everyone works together. Eventually, there's no such thing as real beef these days. I actually don't disagree with that, Matt. Listen, guys, it's 5:45. I'm going to come back for SmackDown, which I am covering for Fights ATW.
They just announced the match for tonight. Mario. It's going to be Ricky Saints versus Carmelo Hayes.
Ooh, that is nasty work. Nasty work. I love that. Yo. And Gunther. Yeah, dude. Gunther. So everything's built up on Gunther and Cody tonight, and they needed it bad. Something needs to happen, dude, because there's literally like it's the limpest dick promotion this year, without a doubt. Like by far, I think too. Which they are working. Mario. Brett was in on it the whole time. He knew it's the only way he'd be remembered in history. God damn you, Mex. Honestly, though, if there was a work, you have to call Brett the greatest wrestler. And I mean, all time. Like everybody buys his shit. The reason I don't think it was a work is because Vince had a real black eye. And he looked really
Hey, Mario, sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to head to the movie theater now. I have to watch this. I'm going to watch this horror movie called Obsession.
Oh, I saw the dude for that. The Blumhouse, yes.
I could relate to that, man.
Oh,
you meet a baddie at a club and you wish for her to be obsessed with you, but I guess it.
But then you
In
get
this
your
movie, it goes too far.
exactly, and that's the thing. That's why I like the preview for this movie. It's like you always got to worry about what you wish for. But Alex, have a good time, bro. Let us know if it's good. All right.
Definitely,
Champ.
definitely. Have a good one, man.
You too, champ. Appreciate you jumping on. Traps look jacked, by the way. I was gonna bring up a point, the WWE, but I'll save it for later. Oh, okay. Appreciate you, champ. Yeah, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna come back in like probably like 30, 45 minutes. But anyway, I appreciate everybody that jumped on today. Shout out to Mech, shout out to Matt, shout out to Alex, shout out to Dwayne in the comments, shout out to Manuel. Shout out to Shoeshine was in there. Shout out to Gene was in there. JF Gene. Shout out to him. Shout out to Shoeshine. Kins was in there too. Shout out to McKinsey. But yeah, we will be back in about 30, 45 minutes. Until then, wait, what do you say? Vince also gave another company access that was never given coincidentally. Yeah, that is all. See, when he said that, that was one of the things that got me. I was like, oh shit, he's right. Like they pulled in tight on the spit wad and they let Brett get away with doing WCW's call sign. And they like, I don't know. It was all like really, really good, I think. Okay, I'll be right there. But anyway, we'll be back in about 30 minutes. Until then, peace.